What's up, everyone?
Hello, hello.
This is Reggie, one of your hosts. I'm welcomed here with Brycey. Say hi.
Hello, hello.
And we got technically a couple of stories
We
kind of
have
string together.
a bundle of stories.
Yeah, we're gonna pull that knot apart, and they're gonna slowly dribble down. But we'll explain one by one because this all leads somewhere to one of our like physically impressive stunts. Like honestly,
One
that
of
was
the
one of the
craziest things we have ever done.
yeah. It was like one of those things that is like almost life threatening, but it not like well, why don't we just start at the beginning?
Yeah,
Huh?
let's just start at the beginning.
Brycey, I'll let you go first. Why don't you describe how we came up with all the stuff before our finished product?
It all kind of begins on just a random summer day back in our hometown. We had this idea that we wanted to start hiking and we wanted to start getting out more onto the trails because there's a lot of trails in our hometown. There's a lot of places to walk, like and to hike, and there's a lot of like not mountains per se, but there's a lot of like
Hills.
hills and just like places to go and explore. And we hadn't really done that, and we're like, you know what?
Yeah.
We should start doing that.
And for context, we love the outside.
Yes.
We enjoy walking around. I like exercising. It's one of my favorite things. Bryce doesn't stop moving. And,
I
that
literally
was
walk.
that was a really good I don't want to say median because we both really enjoyed that. It's not like we met in the middle somewhere, but
Yeah,
we basically found something that we both were like, dude,
this is something we need to do.
fucking
Like,
totally.
I love
Benefits both of us.
exploring. I love
Yeah.
going outdoors. We love that, and like,
For sure.
let's hike. Let's start using this beautiful, beautiful town that we have,
And the best part is it was summer, so it was extra beautiful.
and extra hot.
Yes,
Which
that's
will be
very
very
true.
important later.
That's very true. It was fucking hot.
So we have this idea of, you know what? Let's start hiking and stuff. Um, we in the morning of one day we decided to meet up at my place, and we decided to go for a hike because I have a hiking trail literally right next to my house. Like the next thing over is a path, and so we just go and we walk up it. I keep doing that, like, because it's that side of where my house was, so we don't that way. I'm the house.
I'm the house. I'm the house. I give direction. Now it was cool because the place that we were at, it was almost surrounded by trails.
Yeah, there's
And
trails
the
all
cool
around
thing,
it.
The cool thing, it wasn't like all easy trails. It wasn't all hard trails. There was a good
A
variety.
really good balance.
And the place we were at it could be known for good trails because people who exercise, like older people, they would go hiking or they would go mountain biking. That's really common around here.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of my buddies love mountain biking on like trails we were at. So anyway, Bryce, continue.
Where was I?
Oh fuck!
And the hat's gone. It's all falling apart. And 30
God. They know my forehead.
forehead exposed.
Dude, facts. Okay. So let's talk about how.
All right, I remember.
Okay.
Well, that morning we met up to go for a hike at my place. We walked about a mile or so. We found this really cool Y part where you could go left and you could explore this whole entire area, or you could go right and you could go back to where my house was. We went right that first day. We're like, okay, cool. This has been like fun.
Mhm.
We get back to my place. He has work, I think.
Yeah.
You leave to go to work.
Also, just for a little extra context, we were doing this without our last goal in mind. This all started.
Yeah, this is the start. Like, we haven't even mentioned our goal, so I don't know.
I don't know if we want to mention it, but let's bring it up as the story goes.
That was the plan.
Yeah. How the timeline goes is we did this off of our own enjoyment. Like we didn't have a greater goal in mind. We were just like, dude, let's just get some more exercise and be outside more. That was at the time was our goal.
Yeah, we just wanted to hike. We wanted
Right.
to go out. So we were like, okay, let's start with let's start with the close trail, something that doesn't take too much work.
Absolutely.
Let's just go explore a bit. So we did this little loop thing. We decided to go right. And I could not stop thinking about that left turn and where it would go. And so while Ragnar went to work, I was like, you know what? Let's go on Google Maps. Let's look it up and let's see. I followed it and I realized there was this really, really beautiful like tree and bench spot that you could just look out over our entire place. And it was really, really cool. And I was like, yo, man, if we go left there, we can get to the like
bench spot.
The bench spot, yeah,
Yeah, sure.
the bench spot. I don't know what to call it.
It's cool because there's like multiple benches and stuff.
Yeah.
Which was nice. It almost was like a picnic, but it was like a hike.
Yeah,
a
you
little,
like
a little mini hike.
literally from the path of my house. We could go like a mile or two, and we could end up at like this
Yeah.
bench area if you just follow the path enough.
Like you could see the sunset, you could see the sunrise there.
Yeah.
It's actually a pretty beautiful spot.
So when Ragnar's done with work, I'm like, hey yo, let's like link.
Hey yo.
We decide to hang out. We're like, I want to hike again. Like we're immediately like, God, what should we do?
It was like not an adrenaline rush, but it was like almost like a high for us because we just loved being outside and like moving around. So we loved it a lot. So we're like, hey, dude, let's fucking go again.
Let's go for a walk again.
Yeah.
And we go back on the same trail. When we get to that Y, we go left, and we just start walking. And it takes us a good mile or so, I'd say.
That was like a mile and a half.
Mile and a half, yeah. And
Yeah,
there's this long uphill at the end, but it's worth it because you get up to like a high point and you can see everywhere. It's really beautiful.
Mm-hmm. This was let's get a time frame going. We tried to see the sunset, didn't we?
Yeah, we wanted to see the sunset, but it was way longer than we thought.
Yeah,
and we missed it entirely.
Yeah.
It was
We
incredibly
got up there
dark by
and
the
it
time we
was
got
past
up
dark.
there.
Yeah, it was like we missed it by like
But,
30
like-
minutes to an hour.
We had good intentions.
Yeah.
We get up there and we're like, our thirst for hiking just isn't done. I feel like it's the best way to put it. Like we're up there and we're like, this has been a blast. We've gone a mile and a half.
For sure.
Oh my God, this has been great. This has been so exciting. I should mention I'm in Vans.
Yeah,
I
I
was in Vans.
was also in Vans.
We're both in Vans, and
Or I was in running. I think I was in. I honestly don't remember. I wasn't either. Fucking don't know. Maybe
Yes.
maybe I was in Vans. I don't think I had a good pair of running shoes then.
We're both
Anyway.
in Vans, but we were a little bit sketched out by walking on the trails because it was very dark now.
And also, like, this was before COVID time or after or during.
No idea.
Yeah, I honestly don't remember.
If I'm honest, it's around. It's
If anything,
it's either months before or months after.
It's dark and the trails are not the widest. So that's some context
Yeah,
on
and
what we
there
were working
are
with.
Animals out there.
Yeah.
There are. You got to be careful. You got to be aware.
Yeah.
So we're like, I want to keep walking, but we probably shouldn't be walking on these trails. So like, we're just sitting there on this bench looking out over the I should be close to my microphone. We're looking out over the stars, and we're like, basically, imagine this. We're both just sitting there looking out, and I look at him and go, "Want to walk to Albertsons?"
See, the way we work, or with Bryce, when he sets his mind to something, he thinks about it constantly until the task is over. So I think I denied it at first. I questioned it. I was like,
"What are you
sure
talking
about that?
Like, what do you mean?"
And he's like, "We could totally do it.
We could.
It's doable." And I thought about it. And I'm like,
It's not
"What
that
time
far.
is it?"
Look at my phone. It is 9:15 about. I'd say 9:15 by that point. No, because the sun had just set.
Yeah.
The sun had just set, but it's summer. I don't know. It's either
Maybe it
winter or
was-
summer. I said it was summer, but it could have.
No, it was definitely summer. Because remember, it was warmer.
It was coming into summer. This is spring right before summer.
This was the beginning of summer, actually. Yeah.
The very beginning of summer. So it was like 8 at this point, I'd say.
I'd say that's accurate.
Yeah,
Yeah.
8:00. And I'm like, dude, it's only like 2 miles. On sidewalks, it's only like 2 miles. And
It
there's
wasn't.
a few shortcuts.
It wasn't.
There's a few shortcuts I know, because we got the city mapped out.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
longboarded to Albertsons, and it was not that bad.
Yeah, those are wheels there.
Yeah, I didn't. But I was like, it's totally possible we could do that. I'm like, dude, I've done it before. It's like 2 miles max. It's totally possible.
And I was getting on board because, like I said, I do exercise a bit. And before, when I used to run around like my area, I would go down to the place we were going to. Have we said it yet? Albertsons?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I would run down to Albertsons, and there's like a certain loop you can do. Fucking grueling run, but that was like what I used to do. Not recently. It was a while, but I knew if I could do that run, we could definitely walk in a straight line there and back.
Yeah. It wouldn't be that hard, right?
That's what we thought.
Yeah. We should mention we were also way farther than either of us actually lived. We had already gone a mile past. It was 2 miles from my
Yeah.
place. And
Yeah.
we totally forgot the fact that we had to walk another mile back.
So we set our minds to it. We were
And-
like, all right, bet. We're gonna fucking go for it. and we walked back to your place first.
We didn't take the trail though, because you could get there
Yeah.
through streets. You just had to go a different way.
Yeah.
We got back to the street because to get to the trail, the bench we'd been to, you had to cross a street. So we went back over the street, and then from there we just took streets instead of taking the trailhead. We took streets back. It was about a mile or so to get back to my place. We stopped at my place to grab jackets because it was cold.
It was fun. It was, yeah. At night,
It gets kind of cold,
it was
so
cold,
we were
yeah.
like, let's grab some jackets. We grabbed jackets. We grabbed some. Did we grab water?
Yes, we did.
I think we both grabbed a bottle of water. And we told my parents, we're gonna walk to Albertsons. And they're like, what?
At this time?
What do you
Right
mean
now?
you're gonna walk to Albertsons?
Don't you guys? Can't you guys drive?
Yeah.
Why don't you guys
Yeah,
drive
we
there?
could totally have driven. Like, no, we're gonna
No,
walk.
Yeah, we
And
want to walk.
They knew what we were getting into, and we were just like blinded by this idea.
Yeah, booty blind.
Yeah,
But yeah, so we got stuff. We had backpacks, didn't we?
we got backpacks.
So we
we
had-
put
yeah.
water in the backpack.
Yeah, and we set out on our journey. Okay, so we took the streets there, right?
Yes,
Okay,
the
'cause-
whole sort of. We
I
took
do-
some shortcuts.
but it wasn't. I don't think it was the.
We took a path because one shortcut was blocked off, so we had to jump over some things. Oh, my bad, guys. We had to jump over some things to get to where we needed to be. But, like, that was the only trail. We walked past trails because we had to at one point because, remember, the gate was closed? I think.
I'm trying to think of the road we went down. Did we do the streets or the main road?
No, my street, we just walked
'Cause we walked past
straight
my
down.
house
And then
on
instead
the
of
way
going
there.
all the way down to that road that goes, far.
Yeah, straight down. Yeah, straight there. Yeah.
Instead of going all the way down to that road and then walking the whole loop, we cut through that neighborhood.
The hood. Yeah, we live in the hood.
No, we
We're realists.
I'm just trying to not use neighborhood names.
Yeah.
So I'm like,
Yeah, so like it was cool because we walked past my house on the way down there. We didn't stop by. I just looked at it and then kept walking down. And
we cut through a park in the path. Yes, we took the park path to the school thing, right?
no, it was a school thing to the park path. The school first. So
We're not being very descriptive. Let's just start from the beginning. We leave my house. We walk down the hill almost the whole entire way.
It was a street though.
Yes, we walk. It's a street that goes all the way downhill.
Basically a hill. Yeah.
And then you turn into a neighborhood area. You walk. It's where he lives. You turn into a neighborhood area.
The place we're describing, just imagine a bunch of mini suburban neighborhoods all stringed together.
All connected
That's-
to two main streets.
That's
One
right.
that goes.
Literally two
They
opposite
literally
directions.
go opposite. They're parallel. No.
Yeah.
Parallel? No.
No, perpendicular.
Perpendicular. They're
He's
perpendicular.
smarter than me.
No, you wouldn't believe it. Perpendicular. And we decided that the best way to go would be to walk down one, and then to kind of cut through in the middle and intersect where they meet up again, because it's like a square. It's literally a square.
So like if
It's four roads that are perpendicular points.
the long way would be like going on the outside of the square.
Would
It's
be
more of a
walking the
straightforward
square.
path, but we go out one way
And then-
for a while
and
and,
then
then
back
straight
in the
there.
other way.
Yeah. So we were like, might as well just go right
Yeah.
in the middle.
So
with
we
some
knew some
windiness.
neighborhood cuts that you could do to kind of like not do that last corner, you know?
Yeah.
So we begin walking downhill. We go by his house. We wave hi. Then we go to the school area. It's
We go
all
into the school
downhill the
area.
entire time. And when we get to the school area, we're like, oh crap, there's normally a gate open for it's a fire gate basically.
Yeah.
When there's fires in our area, it opens up so more people can evacuate quicker. But it's not
But it
supposed to be
was-
open all the time because it's a school area.
It's
and,
like
we don't
a-
want people driving
Are
there.
you talking about connecting the streets?
Yeah.
It's a gate for fire trucks, because there's a fire station. Should I describe that? It's not very descriptive. I'm not going to do a descriptive.
There's just a fire
There's
station right
a,
there.
There's a fire station down that street, and there's schools up here, but those schools, like the street that is down to the fire station is not connected to the neighborhood we walked through to get there. So
Yeah,
there's
you
a
have
fire.
to-
There's a
a
fire
fire
truck.
thing. You have to.
Fire truck gate that is locked, but if necessary, they open it, and then
It's faster than going, because we said it's a good distance
Yeah.
going around.
Yeah.
It's like no matter what, even if you have to hop, one of them you have to hop off and unlock it. It's like a minute or two compared to like a 10-minute detour.
that's right. No, it would be longer than that. We either take the trails around it, which is way longer, or we take the roads around it, which is like
I'm talking about a fire truck, not us.
Anyway, I got lost. All right, so we got past that, and
You're fucking eating. I just noticed. You're munching on a banana.
I saved it for just now.
When you got hungry in the middle of recording at...
It's giving me energy, bro. Potassium, that K. Not ketamine. Relax, everyone.
So we get past the gate. We have to climb it.
And we hit... So we can either take the roads down there, but we were like, we want more of an adventure, because that's just the kind of people we are. So we're like,
This path, we
go
can
into
take
a
it.
school. Yeah.
It's a school, but there's a path that goes around the school, basically.
There's a... Yeah, so...
We're like, we could take this, and it could technically be faster. We weren't sure.
We wanted to test it.
We thought it could be, because we thought walking down, you'd have to weave through a lot of neighborhoods to get to the exit.
Mm-hmm.
Which, if you took this path and walked around the school, you should be able to get to the final road that gets you out of the neighborhood. And next to Albertsons.
It would spit it, the school would spit us out onto the park place. And
Yeah,
then
the
it would
park.
spit us out.
And then you can
into
walk the park to the
suburb,
final
another
suburb
part,
that,
yeah.
like, is where Albertsons is. Instead of
at
having
the
to
end of
go
that.
through all of the roads to get there. It's
Yeah.
a windy thing, so it's not great.
And like you said, we didn't know if it was faster or not, so
But
we
we
wanted to
thought it
test
would
it
be.
out. Yeah.
So we jump over the school fence, get into the trail area, and we start walking around.
Mm-hmm.
And I should mention, I am petrified of snakes.
Yeah,
Horrified
that
of
is a thing
snakes.
about Bryce.
And so I am nervous. I am nervous.
Because it was dark too.
It was really dark. We had our phones out, but we had to conserve battery because we had a long trip ahead.
It was
of
like
us.
our eyes were adjusted to the dark, and we didn't want to use up too much phone in case we had to call someone to pick our baby asses up.
Yeah.
So we just kind of skimmed over and walked, and yeah. So we went through. I think I don't know if we I think we played in the playground on the way back because we were tired.
we
so
rested
we
and
won't-
kind of messed around on the playground for a bit.
Yeah. So
But we get out to the exit of the neighborhood area. No, wait, I shouldn't jump because this was a long journey. This was a grueling journey.
the downhill part was
For
the first
me-
half was.
The first half, yeah, because you had to go up this little thing, and then you had to go over, because we said our neighborhood's very hilly. So the way that it was designed is the school's right against the hill. You have to go up and around the hill to get down the other side to get to where the neighborhood entrance is.
Going to our Albertsons is like 10% uphill, 90% downhill.
There.
Yeah.
And that is important on the way back.
On the way back, that's very important.
Because we were not thinking about that on the way there. We're like,
Yeah.
dude, this is so easy.
And we were low-key taking our time through the school and park because we were kind of having a good time, actually.
Yeah, we were
'Cause
hanging out, we were
We
laughing.
were exploring, yeah, because it
We're
wasn't
having
as
a great time. There
'cause
was
it's
no...
downhill. We weren't exhausted yet, and we were basically having fun. 'Cause
And then...
we haven't really done that.
Yeah, this was our first time really going out and exploring and going for it.
Yeah.
And so we
waltz our way down some streets, and
checked the time.
Yeah, we checked the time. So we got two options before I'll tell you when our place closed. So we had two options. No, fuck it. The place, our Albertsons online said it closed at 11 p.m.
At this point, it was...
It was 11:48.
No, it was 10:48. It closed
Oh,
at
sorry.
11.
Jesus Christ.
No, it was not 10:48. It was like 10:36. But we had, according to our phone and Google Maps, a 30 to 40 minute walk ahead of us somehow.
Yeah, so the two paths we could take is a long hill down, but you know how like marketplaces have like their whole marketplace?
Mm-hmm.
If we took that long hill down, but it's a straight line,
We'd get
we're on the opposite side of our Albertsons.
and we could just go down the street and we're there.
If we went the other way, which is right, or along the windy path, it may have been longer, but where it would spit us out is at Albertsons.
Yes, so we could either go to the neighborhood and then run down that thing. We'll go down that thing and get there.
Uh-huh. Maybe
Or-
quicker.
We could take the windy, scary path in the middle of the night.
It was a suburb.
It was?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, wind to the suburb.
Because it was the streets.
Oh, I
The
understand what you're
streets.
saying. You're still back there. I'm
Oh, are you ahead?
sort of. I'm on the... Because we decided to take the downhill thing. I'm on the
Yeah,
downhill thing.
yeah.
I was about to talk about
Oh, when
you made the decision.
oh my god,
to
no,
go
dude. Okay, no,
for it.
we checked the time, and we did check it. I feel like it was like super close to it closing. Like
Okay,
like
let me
10:50 or 10:48 or something.
yes.
It was
Let
really
me
close.
let me say okay. So at 10:36, basically, or like around the closing time, I'm using
We
estimated
were like
numbers.
in the park by then.
We were in the park
still in
area.
the park.
We were down, but like we thought we had maybe a 5-minute walk or so, and that's when I'm like, hey, what time is Albertsons close? I'm finally like, we should check this.
I've walked it before, and I think you've walked it like once or twice before.
Yeah.
And we were like, this is downhill. It shouldn't take us that long. You know, we had that kind of mindset.
Yeah, and then finally once we get there, it's like 10:36. Like, what time does Albertsons actually close? We never really checked. We pull up our phones. It says 11. We're like, oh crap. Oh no, we're in the park at this point. We're like, how long does this Google say? And Google says 28 minutes. Like we'll get there like 11:04. I'm like, bro, we don't want to miss it.
We're like, our purpose
was to get to Albertsons.
No, was literally to get food and snacks at Albertsons.
So we could
because
get back.
we would run out by then.
Yeah.
So if Albertsons closed and we ran out of food and water, we're kind of fucked on the way back. And we kind of already made up like we want to make it back walking.
At this point, we're like we're making it back.
Yeah. So we're like, okay. And honestly, we were both kind of like, we had backpacks filled with waters and other shit running out because we
were eating it and munching it.
We were eating and munching. And we were also fucking around. So we were kind of like, we hopped fences. We ran through a school. Fucking, I was going to say what school it was, but that's probably not the smartest thing.
No, that's a really bad idea.
It's not a good thing.
We did.
We were in the play structure and
we climbed around on a hill. We took a bunch of stupid fucking pictures at one point.
We also did do a hike earlier in the day, and then we went to that bench spot again. So that's technically 2 hikes already before we went back to his house, and then our final trip, third hike. And this was longer than the ones before.
Yeah, this is the longest hike we had done. It's pretty late, and at this point, Ragnar's like, I gotta run. I'm like, he's like, we gotta run.
No,
like,
I remember I was trying to push you a bit because I'm a tiny bit more athletic than him because I play tennis.
He's an athlete.
And
he's training to be an athlete, and I am a YouTuber.
So I was like, I remember you were like, pull me, because I like had you by the strap or I was pushing you.
Just pulling on my bag is like I was like
excuse me,
falling.
Hold on.
Okay, we just took a short break there on accident because Ragnar started dying of coughing, so we took a water break.
Yeah. So,
what were we talking about?
So we were at where I was kind of dragging you.
You were dragging me. You wanted me to just go, and at this point, I'm like, dude, I'm done. I've reached my point where I'm like, bro, I need to get water. I need to sit down.
Yeah, usually I don't take as many steps as we did that day because we did 2 hikes beforehand, and then we're on the way down of our third, which was longer than our first 2. If I don't usually do that much, I don't think you do. So he was a little fatigued. And we really needed that snack, bro.
No, I was
really needed
hungry
that grub.
and thirsty. We had eaten all of it by that point. Like I didn't. I also am not one to conserve. I'm gonna be honest. Like, and this is an ongoing issue I experienced throughout this story. I struggle with conserving my resources.
Yeah.
I ran out pretty quickly.
We did get yummy snacks too, which made it a little extra hard.
Yeah, we brought like sugary snacks as well, and not like healthy snacks. So it was like
we did learn in the future, but we'll get to that.
Yeah. So at this point, I'm like, Ragnar, go on without me. Go.
Can we do 2 separate things? Because I don't know what you were going through on your way over. I just remember my part of running.
Okay, yeah, we'll tell 2 different stories at this point, but I tell Ragnar to go on without me.
Yeah, I was like, no, Bryce, you can do it. And I looked at the time. We literally had like 4 minutes left.
Yeah, no, we had less. No, we had more. We had like 8 minutes. And I'm like, dude, if you run,
you can make it. Yeah,
4 minutes. You can go in and get me a Powerade and fruit.
Yeah, you told me, and I
Powerade and fruit.
I forgot one of them as well. I forgot the fruit. I got him 2 Powerades.
Yeah. I said, a Powerade and fruit, bro. Go and get it for me. You are the more athletic person. It's all on you at this point. And he's like...
I didn't want to leave him because I wanted to do it together. But it was like, yeah, if we don't get our snacks...
This is over.
Like, I'm struggling as well. Like, it's not going to be a good time for me either. So I was like, you know what? Let's fucking go. And I'll... take it for like the next 5 minutes.
You tell your side and I'll tell my side.
So this is when we split up.
Yeah.
Bryce slows down. I know my role. I know what I need to do. I'm literally saying out loud, this is what I work out for. This is what I run for. And I'm fucking pacing. I'm just going. Long strides. It's down a hill, so it's not the worst thing in the world. And we took the path where it's straight down, but we're on the opposite end of the market. So I think I was able to get all the way down. And also, going down is steep. We were running for a bit, and our feet were hurting because we did hike beforehand, and it is very downhill, and we were running. And we didn't have the best shoes. We had Vans, right?
Yeah, we were still in our Vans.
Yeah, so it wasn't very healthy on our feet. We did solve that problem later because we're experienced now. Anyways, I was running, and I was like, dude, I need to go. So I was like pacing myself and my breathing, getting that shit all nice and good for me. And I take a right. I look at the time. I'm like, dude, it is 10:59. Like, I'm close to missing it. And I was like, okay, I'm not taking the sidewalk. I'm running across the parking lot to go get this shit. So I was running my ass across the parking lot. I sweat really easily, so I'm a fucking mess. I think I smelled like awful garbage when I made it there. But I literally made it there 1 minute late, and they were like packing up and stuff. They were still open. They were packing up and stuff. I ran in, and honestly, to my disappointment, there were still a handful of people beginning to shop there. And we expected it to be closed at 11. Like, shut doors, locked, employees go home to their imaginary children and probably dog. So I was like, fuck. I didn't have to run the shit. But I was like, okay, you know what? I'm just going to hurry anyways because I know Bryce is on my tail. So I got to get our shit and run through. It wasn't self-checkout at the time. So I had to go face-to-face looking like a homeless, sweaty mess because I had a backpack on with empty shit in it. I was throwing it away in the recycling bins, and I know they were looking at me funny. I know that for a fucking fact. I get our shit. I forget his fruit because I'm a good guy like that. I remember a lot of things when I'm tired. But I got us 2 Powerades each, and I actually don't remember if I didn't get fruit for you, so we shared fruit. I think we shared fruit.
You got us both fruit. I'm like, get us.
I got one for me. I forgot fruit. One for you, so we shared. It was like a decent bowl anyway, so we shared fruit. Yeah, and I think we said like, I'll meet you there. Like, we knew there was tables in the front of the Albertsons,
yes,
so he's like, I'll meet you there. Just get the shit and wait for me. I was like, okay, bet.
Yeah.
And I was able to get our stuff, embarrass myself in front of the people who
were shopping at 11 o'clock at night.
Yeah, and I walked out with all of our stuff. I took a sip of the Powerade, sat down, waited for Bryce to come, and we're going to rewind about 10 minutes.
10 minutes earlier.
Yes.
I send Ragnar on his way, and I watch as he slowly strides off. And it's a long path, and it's pretty straight. As we said, it's long and straight, so I just watch him.
This is great because I've never heard his perspective on this night. I've never heard like your perspective.
No, we never talked about it. Yeah, we never just sat down basically in silence. We played J. Cole.
Yeah, we listened to some music. We
sat there in silence and ate and drank because we knew that we had to get back in what we had just gone through.
Yeah.
But
we knew it was going to be tough.
Yeah, my 10 minutes, I slow way down. I'm like, okay. I see him getting smaller and smaller, and I'm getting slower and slower. And there's literally a point where I'm moving, like, I'm taking a step, and I'm stopping. I'm like, okay. Taking a step, stopping. Okay. Taking another step, and I'm just like, every step I am working so hard to get there. It is grueling and it's painful. And I'm in Vans and I hate Vans. I despise Vans.
Don't hike in Vans.
Worst decision I had ever made. I was
Didn't
wearing
we
Vans.
Literally buy hiking shoes right after that time?
The next day we bought hiking shoes.
Yeah. Anyway, continue.
I am literally just like suffering entirely, but I'm like, I can do this. I'm okay. We've gone like 3 miles, but hey, you are in the best shape of your life right now, kid. You're killing it. I'm literally like, I have to hype myself up just to keep going.
Isn't from your place, Albertsons is like 5-6 miles away, I thought? Or is it like 4 or 5?
We're at 4. Okay, yeah. And we had already gone 2 miles. We had a mile there, a mile back. So we're at like 6 miles.
That's true. Okay, yeah. Continue.
No, because it's about 3 miles there. And so we're at 5 miles so far.
Yeah.
Because it's about 3.5 miles from my house to get
I don't want to sell us short. It was not easy. It seriously was not easy.
We're already at about 5 miles.
Yeah.
And we're in Vans, and I'm just like, why did I not change shoes? What am I doing? I am just doing everything I can to like have that positive mental attitude, but I just don't. I want to die, and I'm like just saying it to myself. I want to die. You're okay. I want to die. You're okay. And I'm just walking on the path, seeing him get farther and farther and farther away, and then I see him turn, and he's gone. And like, I check my phone. It's what 11:58, 11:59
Yeah.
at that point. I'm like,
Yeah. Because the moment I turned,
I'm like,
that's when it hit 11:15 or 10:59.
come on, Ragnar. That's all I'm thinking. Come on, Ragnar.
I
come on,
literally,
Ragnar.
I felt him believing in me because I knew I had to do it for us. Like
And
it wasn't just
when
me.
I saw him disappear. I just knew it didn't matter when I got there, because no matter what, he was gonna get
I'm gonna get that shit, dude. I'm gonna get that shit.
And so I'm literally taking my time, one step at a time, and I get to the parking lot and I see the giant blue Albertson sign
Still on.
still on, and I see 20 to 30 cars in the parking lot. And I'm
It is a big parking lot.
it's
So
massive. It's
20
empty,
to 30 looks like very little,
but there's
but it's still
cars.
Yeah,
in the
there's still
parking lot.
fucking cars there.
I'm like, they're not kicking anyone out. The doors are open. What's going on? I'm literally like, I check my phone again. What's going on? Did we get the time wrong? 11 o'clock. Closed. Wait.
This doesn't add up.
I speed up. I'm like rejuvenated with energy. I start rushing over. I'm like, what's going on? I get to Ragnar. I'm like, what's happening? Why is it not closed? It's like,
I was like, there's people starting shopping in there.
I'm like, I'll be right back. No, at first I say, did you get my fruit? Did you get my Powerade? He was like,
I said, I forgot your fruit.
I got your two Powerades. I'm like, God damn it, Ragnar.
But I remembered my fruit.
Yeah.
So then we had fruit.
Yeah, we ate some fruit really quickly. We rejuvenated ourselves a little bit.
We
Quickly.
literally,
This was like, we literally like took a handful and like we're shoving it in our mouths. We ate this so quickly. And I'm like, okay, I'll be right back. I'm going to go shopping. I go in. I get my favorite snack of Mentos. I love Mentos. I get more fruit, I think, for us. I get cantaloupe.
Okay.
And I get nuts, I think, as well.
I honestly don't remember what you got.
I get a bag of almonds.
I was busy stuffing my face
I
with
get a
that
bag
fruit.
of almonds, Mentos, and a bunch of cantaloupe.
The fruit I usually get at Albertsons is strawberries mixed with blueberries because those are two of my favorite fruit.
Nice.
Yeah. So we munched on that for a little bit.
Yeah,
Bryce
we
was
munched
like,
on it.
you finish that. I'm going to get my stuff. I'm like, sounds good. And then he got his stuff.
I also get a bunch of water.
Yeah. Pretty important. And
Very important.
we basically sat there almost like 20 minutes. Not that long, but not that short because our feet like hurt. And
They
we
hurt,
knew
yeah.
we had the other way to go.
Yeah, we knew there were 3.5 miles
And
back.
basically, so remember when we said on the way there, it was 90% downhill, 10% uphill? All right, now reverse that if you can.
We just realized, yeah.
Yeah, so we were like, okay, we're not taking that massive hill because we
Back
thought it was
up.
faster, and we were like, yeah, that's probably going to hurt us a little bit more.
Going
And
up.
our bellies were a little full because we did stuff our faces. So we were like, okay, let's throw our empty bottles away. Let's restock ourselves. And we're going to take basically, so if we were at the park, we went left on that straight road. We're going to come back
through the neighborhood
through the
area,
neighborhood
right?
area. Yeah, the windy neighborhood area. And it's less hilly.
Yeah,
It's-
less
it's
hilly.
a little longer,
But we
but
also
less
have
hilly.
to figure out the maze of neighborhoods, which we knew we'd have to use Google Maps to get through because there was a lot.
Well,
And,
no,
like,
'cause you thought that, but I used to walk that a lot because that's where why.
okay, yeah. I didn't trust him. I was on Google Maps. He was like,
I was
it's
a-
an ADHD thing.
I was a bit more familiar with the area because at the time I would walk back from school.
That's
and-
where he walked. Yeah, from
Yeah,
school.
I took the straight road because I didn't hike 2 times before school, and then walk back from school. So I would take the straight road back up, but because we were gassed, we took the windy road, and yeah, so we went through the windy road. It wasn't that bad because it was less hilly, yeah, and I think we went through. I actually don't remember. Did we go? I remember us going through the park again. We rested at the park for a minute.
We played at the place. I think
Did we go through the school
I think
again or
we
no?
went to the park and we walked back around.
So we didn't go through the school
No,
because
yeah,
we had
we went-
hop fences and we kind of
Yeah,
weren't
we were like,
down
we
for
were
that.
not jumping anymore.
Yeah.
It was walking or sitting down. That was our two things we could do.
So on the way down, I would say that was about, so from your place down to Albertsons, I would say that was about what, an hour and a half?
Well, no, we started at 8. We got there at 11. It was 3 hours.
Holy fucking shit. We did fuck around a little bit too, so
No,
it's not
it
like we
was
were
still a
rushing.
long
We
fucking-
literally rushed at the very last 10 minutes.
No, yeah, we sat around a lot. We did
Yeah.
some dumb shit, but
Yeah.
like, we also can't talk about all the things we did.
Yeah.
But we had a good time. We had fun.
And yeah, so on the way up, was a little bit longer than 3 hours because we did take breaks. Was it?
No.
No.
It was like we fucked around way less. We were determined. It took us like an
Hold
hour
on, hold
and 40
on.
minutes.
We
were home by, like,
didn't
1.
we hit benches at like 8:15? Oh wait,
We left benches around 8.
and then we
15.
prepped and left at like 9:15 ish. Or
No, we didn't prep much. We left by like 8:45 from my house. So it took
I
us
feel like
2
it didn't.
hours.
I feel like 2 hours sounds more correct.
2 hours
than 3 hours.
It took us an hour to get from there back here. Not an hour to walk a mile. It took us like 30 minutes to walk a mile.
Yeah.
And it took us 15 minutes to get ready, and it was about 45 minutes. And then we walked for 2 hours, basically, to Albertsons. And then we walked for an hour and 40 minutes. An hour, and it was all uphill, like an hour and 40 minutes back. Because there was points where we were doing like I was doing earlier and taking steps and being like, all right, let's do it.
Yeah.
We take a step. You got it? Let's do it.
We both knew we were in pain, both of us.
We both knew it was in pain and a long haul. We knew every step was important.
Yeah,
So we were focusing on the next step.
Our only breaks were the park. I'm not going to count Albertsons because that was like our destination, really.
Yeah.
So our only breaks on the way up was the park, and then I think we grinded the rest of it.
There's a park right next to my place that we stopped at for a minute because remember at my place, it's the hill. It's the final hill, and we were like, we need a second. We stopped at the park that we played Frisbee at sometimes.
We didn't play Frisbee this time, though.
No, we stopped there for a second. We just sat on like the fence right outside it, and we're like,
Yeah.
hold on.
Yeah. Those like 5 seconds, 10 seconds of stopping, oh my God, was euphoric.
We were like, we know the pain we're about to go through. This is the final hill for us to finally be able to go to sleep.
Yeah.
This is going to be torturous.
Yeah.
But let's do
So, yeah, we went through the park. We went through that Firegate place, but we took the road there instead of through the school, so that was like a tiny bit longer. School wasn't that big, so it was only a little bit longer.
Just around the school, went up the Firegate thing.
Yeah. And on the way down, on the way up, we didn't really take any windy roads. We took it straight up because we wanted to get there as soon as possible.
We took the windy roads to get to like the school area, and once we got past the school area, it was like go.
Yeah,
we
needed it. We wanted to sleep so bad. We wanted to rest.
Beeline to my house, and then we went. It's basically a straight line all the way to the fence we were talking about. We got to the fence, and then we literally were like, all right, let's do this,
dude. If we didn't get those Powerades and sugars, we totally would have cramped on our way up.
Oh yeah,
because we did, like I said many times. The 2 hikes before that, dude, it was not easy too.
Yeah. In total, after about 16 miles of walking that total day, we walked straight up a hill that is, I kid you not, is angled like this.
He's kidding a little bit.
It's angled like this. That's fair. That is fair to say.
A little make it unangled a tiny bit. Right there.
It's up.
That's still difficult. That's a crazy incline.
Like to drive up it, you have to like go.
Imagine like a castle at the top of a, like, you know those like fairy tales where like they're royal castles at the top of an insane like
you have
mountain.
To go up and over to get there.
That's basically what we had to do. But yeah,
it's only like 600 feet, but it is the most grueling 600 feet.
You know how like you burn and like work harder when you do incline, like on the treadmill or something?
Yeah.
That's what we did.
After 16 miles, the hardest part was the last 600 feet. It was devastating. Literally, it was hard. Vans.
Yeah.
And
dude, every step was like, the worst part was it wasn't even pain, it was strain. Like strain pain. Like I was straining, my feet were straining on the way up, dude. It was that last bit fucking difficult. But we did it, dude.
We fucking did
it. And that was
insane.
And I think the day after we hung out again.
We slept. First we went to bed and we slept about 16 hours.
I didn't even take a shower, dude. I was gassed.
I took a shower and then went to sleep.
couldn't. I took a shower in the morning and changed my sheets. I could not shower, even though I don't like showering. What the fuck? I don't like sleeping. Showering. No, I don't like sleeping without showering. But I did that time because I was
I'm
dead.
Gonna cut that out. I don't like showering. I'm gonna make that a TikTok.
I don't like
even
showering.
Though I don't like showering, and that's just gonna be out of context by itself.
But yeah, it was tiring. Good night's sleep. Very good night's sleep. At least I had. And then I went back up to your place, and we kind of how you say, absorbed it all.
We
'Cause
absorbed what
I
we
didn't
just
quite,
done.
yeah, I didn't quite, what's the word I'm thinking of? Process. That's what I mean. We finally, or at least I finally processed
how much we had walked.
how much we did, yeah.
And then the craziest thing happened. We were like, let's do it again. But this time we didn't want to walk to Albertsons. And
Yeah.
that's when we stepped outside my house, walked the 360 around.
Yeah, I think we only did one hike that day.
No, we did not do a real hike.
We didn't do a hike?
We walked up.
Well, not a real hike, but
We just walked up the hill that was my place. We looked at the view.
yeah, we looked at the,
walked
yeah.
down. We did not do any sort of like real hiking because it was just way too much.
And we were
but we
definitely
had the
sore.
idea of like we want to do something more. We look around and we see what we want to do.
Mhm.
It's 3,000 foot elevation gain.
Almost 3,000. Like literally 2,900 and something.
Elevation gain, straight up rock mountain.
Yeah, literal mountain. So we're surrounded by hills. We had like
We had hills in front of us, and then behind it was a
real mountain. Like a real one.
It was monstrous over.
Yeah. This is going to be great. I remember because that mountain I hiked when I was a kid, not all the way to the top because I was a fat little shit and complained a lot, and my parents probably despised me for that. And there's a lot more people back then hiking that mountain, so I was an embarrassment to the family. Anyways, I remember hiking that, and we looked at it, and I kind of reminisced on what we just went through the day before, and I was like, dude,
We gotta conquer.
we can hit that. We can fucking conquer that.
We gotta conquer that.
Yeah. So
We rush back inside and we just start kind of planning our trip. And like I Google
I
the mountain. Like we start planning out like different routes, and we're like, okay, so if we leave from the trail that's next to my house.
Didn't you get like an actual like trail map?
Yeah, I got
So,
like
like-
a trail app, and I started looking at what trails it said, and we found something. I'm gonna call it the.
Is it the trail name? 'Cause I
No,
don't
I'm
remember
gonna
any of the
change
names.
a trail name.
I don't remember. Any
We're
of the
gonna
names.
call it the Magic Funny Cool Fun Trail. No, the Bat Cave Trail.
Okay,
That's what we're gonna call it. The Bat Cave Trail.
that's what we're gonna call
We
it.
just had a whole last debate off camera about what we should call the trail.
Yeah,
and-
I'm probably 100% wrong, but I persevered, and that's a very good trait of mine.
homie decided that we had to have a discussion about the name of the trail, and we
Yes.
decided with the Bat Cave Trail. And I don't
Yes.
remember where it left off, but
No, so
the mountain is called the Bat
We
Cave.
came back. You found an app, and
Yeah,
you
and
were
we
basically doing the smart
mapped
shit.
out the
Yeah.
Bat Cave, and we kind of got where we wanted to go and the different routes and the different ways that
Right.
you could go through the Bat Cave.
Yeah, and I did say I hiked it once when I was a kid, but I didn't quite remember the path, and I didn't go all the way up. So we really relied on his tracking skills and trail finding skills to find the correct way up. Because there is like 3 or 4 different ways to get up that thing,
And
and
I
one and like
I
a lot of
still
them-
haven't decided if that was a good or bad decision, because I'm the one that made the call. That was. We'll get there.
Okay. So
The call will come.
the call will definitely come. Anyway, I'm coming.
At this point, we realize it's going to be, if we want to do our final trip, it's going to be about 17, 18 miles at once. Right?
That's the final trip.
The final
not the one
trip.
we're looking at. Okay, so
But that's not the one
I-
we're really. You're right. We aren't really looking at that yet. We're like, we want to get to the top of that mountain. We mapped it
Yeah.
out. It's going to be 10 miles.
Yeah.
But 6,000 feet of elevation change. 3,000 up,
and then
3,000
back down. Yeah. So, like, yeah, I didn't remember how long the trail was. I thought it was like 9, 8. And I asked Bryce. He had the app, nice little magic technology thing.
To get to the
And he was
point we
like,
wanted.
There and back, dude, is like basically 10 miles. And I was like, oh, that's okay. We did the Albertsons hike.
I was like,
and-
we did 60 miles yesterday. We
Yeah,
could do that. And then
we checked the elevation again.
and I'm like, in the last half mile, you will gain 1,000 feet of elevation.
Yeah.
No, in the last mile, you
Yeah.
will gain 1,000 feet of elevation.
The place is known for slight rock climbing. Not
Yeah.
where we're hanging off for our dear life.
But you
But
got a
you know how
boulder.
Bryce
It's
said
boulder.
the incline of his road was like here-ish?
Yeah. double it.
It was like that.
Yeah.
So it wasn't straight down, but we were laying on that thing.
We were laying on rocks, hoping to not slide off.
Anyway, yeah. So he was mapping it out. I was thinking about something. So you know, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. God. Oh, it just slipped out.
This is going to be an ongoing meta of I have to edit out Ragnar's stupidity.
Dude, it caught me off guard. It's myself. Okay, anyways.
I'm going to come back up one second.
Yeah. I'm a silly boy, so I was thinking of some stuff. You want to fix that little thing up there?
Coffee. Whoa, I knocked something over. One sec, y'all.
Look at Bryce's pretty face. Anyway, so I was thinking of something. And as Bryce was checking out the actual terrain and elevation and paths, he was like, we might need to work our way up to this. And I was like, yeah, that's definitely a good idea for the elevation we're going to work with. So he was like, all right. Because we bought the shoes basically right after this.
Yeah, after we did the Albertson thing, we knew this was going to be a thing. We bought the shoes probably that night.
Yeah.
They got there. They got there in a day or two, and we're like, all right, it's time to...
Amazon shipping is clutch. Yeah. Facts. Okay, so...
we decided it's time to go. And we just started hiking every single day.
We did have a time frame too. We wanted to train, like we called this our training, because we literally we hiked every single day, and the last like 2 weeks of hiking we did like we trained. We ran.
I will call it training. We worked out every day.
Yeah.
We burned calories 3 times a week. Like we made sure to do like heavy lifting weights, leg like.
You showed me that like ab circuit.
That we did ab circuits. We made sure to hike at least. We wanted to get up to more than we had to do on the trail. So we did a 12-mile hike with less elevation gain.
A little spaced out.
Yeah.
Like not all at once.
Over about 2 months we did.
Yeah.
All of this. We built up to literally being like athlete. I built myself up to be an athlete in order to do this.
Yeah, I will admit I was actually in very good shape. Mainly because of the running part. Cardio is fucking great for you, for your health. And the ab thing you showed me, and also like we did fucking all kinds of calisthenics workworkouts.
I had weights as well. We did so
weights
much.
We actually did a very good amount of exercise. Like it was more than what I usually do.
We were literally working out 3 times a day, every day, with one goal in mind of getting up on that mountain. We had no idea what was in store as well, because we didn't look up any videos of how to climb the Bat Cave. We didn't look up anything. We were just like, okay, we know we have 1,000 feet in a mile, so we have to assume there's some sort of climbing aspect. So we're doing upper body training because we didn't know what was in store.
Yeah, and for more information, we weren't together all the time, but we did work out separately.
We held each other to schedules like, hey, did you work out today? Like,
we kept track for each other.
Like, we made sure we were eating good. Like, literally, we were forcing each other to, like, get prepared for, like, torture.
Yeah. So, should we talk about that last little run? Well, it's not last.
At one point during the 12-mile hike, we decided, okay, if we can run walk 12 miles doing half-mile circuits.
Did that catch? I don't think so. Let's go. Let's keep going.
What if that did catch?
Whatever.
12-mile circuit.
Yeah. Remember, I don't think it was 12 in a row. It wasn't 12 in a row. Like we did like 4 in the morning, 5 in the morning.
No, we did the final one before we climbed that mountain. The final, like 2 weeks before, because we took 2 weeks of like resting and only doing workouts and like 1-mile hikes to kind of make sure our legs are nice and rested. But 2 weeks before, we did a 12-mile run hike on my backyard path.
Did we do that the very last time?
Yeah, and
I remember that. Okay.
Up that. Okay,
I thought you were meaning like every single time we trained, and I was like, we definitely didn't do that much every time.
The last time we built up to being able to do a 12-mile run, walk, half-mile circuit, hike, and I'll admit the last mile or two we didn't run at all, because like we'd just done 10 miles, but 10 miles was our final goal of like how far we knew we had to go.
Right.
So the last 2 were like, okay, when you've lost everything, can you still make it?
Yeah.
And we made it.
We did pretty good.
We did really well. We had the water. We ran till like the 10th mile. We felt really good. I've still felt good the rest of the day. Like we still had energy. We hung out.
Yeah.
We were really confident.
The training definitely helped a lot.
And at that point, we're like, okay, we can do this.
Yeah. Before we get to that though, we did our normal circuits and intervals around our basically neighborhood, whole neighborhood. And there was this one hill that was maybe, I don't want to say a quarter of.
Oh, fuck the hill. I didn't even talk about the hill.
It was like,
it's about
like, it it was okay. I don't want to do a comparison because I don't want to be incorrect, but it was a solid. What would you say? Like,
Are you talking about the hill that we ran up?
Yeah, 600 feet.
No, it's longer than that. It was about a quarter mile. It was a quarter-mile hill.
Quarter mile up?
Yes.
Are you sure about that?
100%. It is longer than you think, and every time you get on it, you were like, oh my God, this is way longer than I remember. And I promise you, after thinking that 100 times, it is stuck in my brain. It is longer than you think.
How many feet is a mile? 3,750? Am I? I'm sorry, man.
Ladies and gentlemen,
I have a swear jar. I have a swear jar.
I am. I'm going to start charging him for having to edit these bleeps.
But yeah, that last long hill, we would see it every time we'd go around our intervals because it's like it kind of branches off of our normal track. And one day, like we saw it was steep as shit, and we're like, maybe we'll do that next time. And we did that for a while, and then we were finally like, you know what? We're like a week away from our scheduled Bat Cave climb, and we're like, all right, let's fucking hit this.
It's 2 weeks. I promise you, we rested for 2 weeks of like, because we knew we needed our legs in top shape.
Okay.
And so we rested them for maybe not 2 weeks, a week and a half.
A little less than a week.
It was a week and a half.
That's a long time to rest.
But no, we still did like mile hikes and workout, but like we didn't want to do anything long.
Okay.
Right before.
That's fair.
And we were eating really well, and we wanted to make sure we were like rested and like in good shape, and like also we didn't want to hurt because I got a little bit hurt on the fucking run. I hurt my ankle, and so I wanted to make sure I was fully good. Remember?
Yeah.
I like wrapped it for a bit.
I do.
So we had to wait because we actually had to delay it 3 days or something as well for my ankle.
Yeah.
But that's not really important.
That's okay.
So it
got
ended up being
shit.
about 2 weeks because of that. But like,
sure,
it was a week and a half. Yeah.
So the hill, the mini hill where we went up, the first time we hit it, we were planning to run up the whole thing. Boy, did we make it halfway. We started running, and because this one is like as inclined as the last bit of Bat Cave Trail because it was steep, but it was steep the entire way up. So it was literally like here, but there's like rocks and stuff, so you can you can plant your feet.
Yeah,
if you have
were
good
literally
shoes.
climbing on rocks.
Yeah, we had our trail shoes, so we
running
had good grip.
up, hopping on rocks.
It's literally like, you know those boxes that you do box jumps on?
Yeah.
Cut that in half, like bigger than a normal step up, maybe like double a step up, and that's what we're sprinting up.
Yeah, we're like
yeah, literally
full, like high
almost
running.
Yeah, literally. So we tried sprinting up that, and we got gassed.
So quick.
Literally like 30% up, maybe
quick.
even earlier. We tried pushing through it because we're like, dude, let's fucking get to the end of this.
Yeah, we got it, and we did not.
We did not get up to the end of it. We got up maybe 50%. It's funny because we looked up and we're like, dude, there's more. Why is there more?
We just keep going. Why is it still there?
We would turn like, it was like windy here, but the path was really
it was
crowded.
Straight up, but it was like this up.
Yeah, and it was like the bushes were like maybe our shoulder level,
yeah,
sometimes
so you couldn't
higher.
See where you were going, or was it? Yeah, I'm almost at the peak.
Exactly. So we were like, oh, just up here, and we're like, oh, okay. We turned the corner, we're like, why is there more? Yeah. Oh, just up here. Okay. Oh, why is there more? And then it started getting really mentally hard because it was
just like
difficult.
Exhausting. You're like, oh, I'm almost there, and then you weren't almost there. So like, how many false promises is it gonna be?
That was our last lap of that day too. So we were like, okay, let's
this
just walk
was
up
our
this.
final. We decided to do our final lap.
Yeah. And it's funny because the opposite end of that hill, we walked up that as well. Maybe not all the way up, but it was like that water tower place or the electric tower. Do you remember that?
I don't
that was
remember. I know what it is, but like I don't remember what it was.
But we kind of been up there, just not on the other side. There was like a electric tower that I think was not in use. I don't remember.
I have no clue. I don't know what it was.
That's okay. Yeah, I honestly don't exactly remember what it is or at all what it is. But we were kind of up there before and we didn't really realize it.
Yeah.
Because when like the hill we kept passing, we never went up it.
Yeah.
We didn't know what was at the top.
Pass it and just keep going.
Yeah.
We'd
that was
see something
our
behind
route.
us and we wouldn't acknowledge it.
Right. So when we finally walked our asses up the last 50%, we're like, oh, here's like I don't want to say abandoned because it was like locked up and like gated, but it was like, oh, there's the thing we ran into those last couple times. And we looked out, beautiful view.
Oh, beautiful.
Fucking gorgeous. You could see the rows of the suburbs that we were at.
It was beautiful, bro.
Not many clouds in the sky. gorgeous. I know like once or twice after that it was like a cloudy day, but
and if you remember, it was a week and a half before the thing.
Yeah.
It was a perfect view.
Oh yeah,
of the Bat Cave.
You
it
could
was
see
literally just monstering over you
Yeah.
because it was the last like hill before like the hike. You could see
Yeah.
the trailhead that we were going to, the baseline for the Bat Cave from where we were, and we're like, that's it. This
Yeah.
is like what we are going to do. You can follow the path, and like
It's crazy because
it was a bit overwhelming.
The Bat Cave. Well, we went to the top of that little mini hill, or I want to say mountain because it was such an incline.
It's a mini mountain, yeah.
Yeah, such an incline. One side is the incline. The other side is like a pathway because of that tower.
It's a hill. Hold
Yeah.
on, we were getting ahead of ourselves.
Yeah. Just the first part was a crazy incline, but
It's on a mountain. The place we're at is already on a mountain, if you think about it. So
yeah,
like,
just not
it's
the one we wanted to go to.
Yeah,
yet.
it's like the top of a hill.
Yeah, and the place we wanted to go, we could see it so clearly, and like you said, yeah, we could see the initial trail that we would have to start on,
Mhm.
and we were like, okay, let's follow it. Let's see if we can see as much of the trail as we can.
Yeah.
We followed it. It went up one hill. We'll call it a hill because it definitely wasn't a mountain by then, and then it dipped back down on the other side, and we're like, huh. That's kind of funny. And then it went up another hill, and we're like, okay, let's see if this goes all the way up. And then back down again, and we're like, this is a little discouraging.
Yeah, we
So we
realized
had to
what
go
we were
through-
getting in for.
We had to go up a hill. Then the second one was up a mini mountain. That was a mini mountain. And then
You're right,
the
yeah.
third, basically, I don't want to say push because it was a long way.
Yeah, I remember like the hillers, like thinking about it, we said 6,000. It was easy, like 12,000 elevation change because you had to go over 5 hills
Yeah.
to get to the mountain.
Yeah, it was weirdly
And
ridiculous.
each hill was like
more than the
1,000
last.
foot, not 1,000 tall. It was like 1,000 feet change each time because you were going down into a valley and then back up the hill and then down into the valley and back up the hill.
Yeah.
And you did that 3 times, and then you got to the base of the mountain and you looked up and you're like, I'm only to the base.
Yeah,
I'm back in
yeah.
the valley.
Yeah. So we looked at that from our mini, I'll just say hill.
From the
Our
hill.
incline hill, our deep incline hill, and we were like, okay, so we know what we're going to get ourselves into. We feel that we prepared enough, and this is where we kind of took a not an off week, but like a cool down week.
Yeah,
we still
but
did
like,
some exercise.
We got
but-
some work to do ahead of us.
Yeah,
like we
yeah.
got to like rest and make sure that we
Yeah.
are ready
So we
mentally, physically.
we
like,
went from
never
like
fatigued.
we went from running every day to like every other day.
Mhm.
We definitely did a lot of stretching. That helped a
A
lot.
lot of stretching, and I still did a lot of like leg stuff to kind of keep my legs active.
Yeah.
I was very much taking care of my like ankle and stuff because, as I said, I hurt it
Yeah.
not running up the hill. I fucking in the last like 100 feet there's a hill and I literally just stepped wrong and fucked up my ankle. It was so pathetic.
It's tough because like near the end of our hike runs on the trails, at the very end we would always have to be so careful because we're tired and we're not exactly watching every
And
one of
it's
our steps.
downhill.
Yeah, there's places that are downhill and dusty because it's a
I
trail.
fall so often.
Yeah, we would slip so much. But yeah, so we took our week and a half break and we planned, what was it, a Saturday?
Mm-hmm.
Planned a whole like I think we got our stuff beforehand. Bless you.
Thank you.
We got our stuff beforehand, like the day before, the night before, really. And then we made a plan, like, all right, let's meet at the beginning of
At the
Bat Cave
base
Trail.
at about 7:50, 8.
A little bit before it, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, a
right
little bit
before, because we
before
wanted to leave for it at 8, but we knew we had to get our shoes on and get everything packed and organized. So we said, let's meet
Yeah.
like 7:50. We'll leave at 8.
3, 2.
Oh yeah. We are at. So at this point, we're at the base of the mountain. It's 8:00 in the morning, and it's time for us to go. We've both loaded our bag with about 4 water bottles full of water,
Yeah.
a bunch of snacks for along the trip, and we're like, all right, it is time to get going.
And we didn't do sugary stuff because we did learn. We
We
learned from
learned a
experience.
lesson. We got really
protein
healthy
shit,
stuff. I had like peanut butter kind bars.
carbs for energy,
We had fruit. We had a bunch of water. We
natural
had Powerades.
sugars.
We were planned. We were ready. We did research on what we should bring.
Yeah.
We were ready.
I had leggings on because from the last time I went half up, I remember like my legs would get scratchy from like some parts of the hike. So I was like, all right, I'll bring like shit to cover my legs.
I did not know that. I was wearing shorts and a t-shirt.
Yeah.
In a hat. I remember the hat very specifically.
We did have hats.
We always wear hats every
Yes.
time we climb. And I think I'll actually have the picture from the first climb, and I'll put it up at the
Yes.
end.
Fuck yeah.
I'll put it up at the Bat Cave.
Okay, for sure.
Because that's why we're calling it the Bat Cave, so
Yeah.
we'll show people the Bat Cave.
For
Okay.
sure. I bet. Okay, go on.
All right. So it immediately begins with kind of like an uphill thing,
Mm-hmm.
and it doesn't really stop. So you go up a first hill, and you kind of walk through some trees and go up, and then you stop and go flat for a minute, and then you look and you see, oh, that's a very steep uphill, and you go up another steep uphill, and you walk that for not very long. It's like a 600, 700 foot walk.
Yeah.
And this first part is not very, very like significant and all that, but something pretty funny does happen.
Well, don't forget there was like makeshift steps.
Oh
in
yeah,
one
the
of
makeshift
spots
steps were
because
really
those
cool.
helped us a bit because if that wasn't there, it was steep. If
Facts.
the steps weren't there, it was steep.
It went up and down. I forgot about that valley. It goes
Yeah.
up and then goes down these wooden steps and goes up the other wooden steps, and then you get to the super steep hill.
And remember, we saw that like abandoned well, like literally a hole down. That was literally.
That was so weird. That did not seem like it was supposed to.
That was
be
one of our landmarks for the very beginning.
Yeah.
So like we were like, okay, if we hit this, we know we're super close.
Yeah, there was this weird well that didn't make any sense. It was just sitting
I
there.
don't even think there was water at the bottom. It was like an old abandoned one.
It was weird.
Yeah, it was a weird one.
We pass the well, and then we go. That well's right before the steep hill as well.
Yeah,
right?
the
You go up
steps,
the steep hill, and then you get to it, and then there's this descent down into the first real valley.
Yeah.
And at that point, we start walking down the valley, and then something atrocious, something horrible happens.
Can I say one thing before that?
Of course.
So like you said, we can see down into the valley, and you can see the path like
Goes up.
you
Yeah,
can
you're
see
right.
it over there. Yeah, on the other side of the valley, the other mini mountain. That one's the mini
Yeah.
mountain. You can see how we have to.
Go down through the
snake
valley,
our way
snake around,
back
and go
up.
back up it.
So we were like, okay.
I think how we're both
We got
looking up, like we can
Dude,
see
we
it.
literally I can fucking
Like
see it.
I can see it. Like you literally like are overwhelmed by what you see. It's so beautiful.
We were prepared. We thought we were prepared mentally for this first one. We thought we were prepared mentally because
Seeing it was.
Yeah, that was.
You look and you're like, you just keep looking up. And you're like, that's not the mountain. That's
Like,
the hill to get to the
get
mountain.
to the, and you have to go back down as well.
Yeah.
And then up again. Anyway, continue.
So we start walking down. Like
our
we're in
sad
this
little
mindset
friend.
of like, oh, we have a lot to go and do. But like, honestly, we're both really hyped. We're like jumping around. We're excited. It's a great time. We're bumping music because we left really early, so no one's there. So I have a big speaker. No one's around us. We're having such a blast. And then I'm jumping around and not paying attention, and there's a gecko on the path.
Yeah, so I remember it was funny because, like I said, when I want to explain one tiny detail. It's not going to be about your stuff. Don't worry. When I did that, when I was like very little, I went halfway up. The lizards or whatever were really tiny, like baby. Continue, Bryce, because that one was not a baby.
He was not a baby. Oh, this poor guy. There was a little gecko hanging out on the path, or a lizard. I'm gonna call him a lizard.
He was big.
I'm gonna call him Larry. There was a little
Yeah.
Larry the lizard hanging out on the path, I shouldn't have fucking given him the name. This is gonna be so much sadder now. Little Larry was hanging out on the path, and I was jumping around.
You were in front because you saw him first, so you were kind of leading the way.
Yeah, I was leading the way, and I jumped, and I landed right in front of him, like literally right in front of him. I'm here, he's here, and I stop. I'm like, oh, I don't want to hurt Larry, and Larry gets freaked out, and he curves to the right and jumps, and he jumps off the cliff, and literally I see him 10, 15 feet through the trees. Gone.
It was great because I saw when Bryce jumped. I didn't know that there was a lizard. I didn't even see the first half of it, of him reflexing back. But I saw this thing flip over off the fucking hill, and Bryce was like, "Oh no! Oh, I felt so bad. Yeah.
Poor Larry." Larry goes flying off, and I'm just like, no! I feel so awful because I just traumatized this lizard into literally killing itself.
Yeah, I saw something fly off. I'm like, dude, what was that? You're like, the lizard committed suicide.
I was
like, what?
flipping out. I was like, lizard just killed itself, man.
That was
And-
pretty funny.
I was losing it over it. And literally, like, I was kind of taking the lead at that point, but, like, Ragnar's like, all right, come on. He's, like, trying to push me on, and I want to, like, do a memorial for the fucking lizard.
You're staring down, and it was like, move, buddy. Come on, get up.
I was looking for him, like, where is he?
Yeah.
And he was like, come on, kid, let's go.
I was like, come on, man. There's plenty more to see out here. Anyway, keep going, brother. Oh wait. Oh yeah, sorry. So my bad. So yeah, he kills a lizard. Our friend Larry annihilates him, and the walk each path is a windy path, right? Because obviously not a straight line. When you go down a mountain, you just don't go straight down. You go nice big snakes. So we went all the way down. There was like another kind of landmark, like a really big tree with a good amount of shade. We didn't stop there. We wanted to keep going. Maybe we got like no. We took different break spots. But yeah, we hit the bottom there, and it was nice that we went at that time because I think there was still the water flow.
There was still water.
There was still water
so
flow.
pretty.
When we went later, like weeks later, or maybe even months later, when we did it again, there was no more water, which was really kind of sad.
But I love the water.
But the first time we went, there was like this little tiny river, like honestly not even a river. There was like
it was
maybe
like
this much of water,
mm-hmm.
like 2-3 inches,
Mm-hmm.
but really thin. But it was fucking nice, you know.
Yeah, it was
Nature is
beautiful.
shit.
Keep talking.
Yeah. So we were going through that, and we crossed it, and we hit the base of the valley where we go up the mini mountain. So we're like, okay, we hit the spot where we got to turn. We took a water break by then because we're like, all right, so we're going up, kind of almost the real part now, almost. So we're like, all right, we'll get a sip of water, maybe some Powerade. We were feeling really good. We were feeling really, really good. So we're like, all right, starting our way up. We're snaking up to the top, and each time, so it goes up one way, and then you turn around towards the mountain to snake up the other way, right?
Mm-hmm.
Each turn, you could see the view of where we came from. And each turn, the higher we got, was better and better. It was great. There's only 3 of them because the length of it was long.
I think I have one picture from. I think I have one picture from this point.
Okay.
I'm gonna put it on if I can find it. One of us took a picture.
Okay.
And if we can find the picture, we'll show it to you. It's beautiful.
Yes, it was great. Not as good as the last one, but
No, the last one of like the peak and all that. Oh my god.
beautiful. So
I'll turn
yeah,
that off.
that's okay. So we were every time we winded up that little basically U-turn to go up more, we would sit, take a sip of water or Powerade, whatever. Maybe even got a bite. The way like the snaky path, like each straightaway to the turns were about 10-15 minutes each, and they were uphill, but nothing we're not used to, right? Because we prepared for this, so we were like, all right, this is kind of what we're kind of used to. We're just gonna keep a nice good pace. We had the music going, we were upbeat, it was very nice, and only took like literally less than 3 minutes of break. Like it was literally a sip, and then we kept going. Brycey is gonna go jerk off a bit. I might join him. No, I won't. I'll stay with you guys. So he's gone. I can say whatever I want, huh? No, sorry. I don't know if you gotta cut that or not. I didn't actually say it. Anyways, so we were able to snake our way back up. We got higher and higher, so the views were better and better. I hope we have pictures of each level. There's only like 3 roundabouts where we caught the view, because it would be one side where the view was, and then above that was the view still, and then on the other side was like more not foresty, but like more bushes, not really pretty. So there's that. And then when we finally snaked our way up to the top, I don't want to call it the top. It kept getting gradually steeper and steeper. And there was a great point where we hit flat ground. It was really good. Because we're like, all right, we can save energy by just walking on flat ground, because, you know, we practice. Yeah, we practice going uphill a lot. And this was flat ground, so we're like, okay, so this is good for our legs. We're able to stand on flat ground, basically lean forward and walk. I remember we said that. We were like, this is easy. I'm just leaning forward. One step after another. No energy being wasted. It was easy. And we took like a longer curve around the mountain. This was like at the top of the mini mountain, right? Longer curve around the mountain. Yeah, this is getting to the split.
Oh.
And this is where I'm going to let Bryce take it away. Am I? Oh, yeah. Sorry, yeah. So we're going around a longer outside part of the mountain, and when we're on our way to the split, we didn't know it yet. It was there, but we looked up and we could see more of the peak, or what we thought was the peak. And we're like, wow, we're really about to go up there. Look at that. We're going to head up there. and we're gonna conquer the shit. So the last little bit of that longer roundabout around the mountain was a tiny bit downhill, which was strangely refreshing.
Oh yeah.
And we're like, okay, this is totally fine. And then we hit a fork where we can either keep going straight or we can take a hard right and almost U-turn. If we continue going straight, it is still going downhill, but it would still lead to the top. If we went right, it was very steep.
It was also weird.
It was.
Because I had my map open at this point.
You did.
Also, I want to apologize. Whenever I eat those chocolates, I just compulsively come. So I had to go deal with that. My bad.
Oh, is that what you left for?
Yeah.
I did say the N-word while you were gone.
God damn it.
I'm just kidding. Only the first few letters. You'll find out when you rewatch this.
I can't believe you. The second I leave, did you just go on some rant about some, like,
I was like,
horrible?
oh, he's gone now. Anyway, let's continue.
How much work am I gonna have to do?
Not much.
Anyways,
Continue.
I had my phone open. I was looking at the routes, and I was like, "That's kind of weird, Ragnar."
Mm-hmm.
One of them, it's the downward. I think it's gonna take us like around and stuff. It's a pretty long loop. But this one, the one that goes straight up and back, it looks more direct. But there are some like dashed lines on the map.
You know what
At some
dashed
point.
lines mean on a map, Bryce?
We didn't at the time.
Yeah.
We do now.
Yeah.
It means.
Why don't you tell him?
I believe it means a damaged or unusable trail, or like a climbing trail, or
Very steep stuff.
it means not exactly a trail.
Yeah.
It means a path.
Yeah.
It means
Not
people
very
have
flat.
gone this way.
Yeah.
We didn't know that, and we're like, dude, that looks like we get to like climb the mountain.
Uh-huh.
And we're like,
Do we want to do that?
do we want to do that? And I think after some deliberation, some discussing of like, this could be dangerous, and we don't know what we're getting into.
I do remember us discussing, like, when we looked straight, where it kept going down a little bit, we're like, where's this leading? Because it veered off to the left,
Yeah.
away from our destination.
Yeah.
We're like, that's kind of weird. And then we looked at his map, and it was like, but this goes, like, it was a U-turn, but closer up
goes
there,
close
it
to
turned
the
around
mountain.
again. Yeah, and it goes straight up. Obviously windy, but more of a...
More
or
direct,
less,
much more
to our
direct.
destination.
Looking at the map, it's like that's definitely because we saw the peak, because we saw where all three paths, both the paths came together and like formed again. But we're like, okay, so that must be the peak area, because clearly these go completely different directions,
Right.
or like that must be near the peak area,
Yeah.
because there was another path coming together, and we'll get to that later. But like we saw the place where like the paths came together, and we're like this must be where the Bat Cave like is.
Yeah.
Obviously, that one going up that U would be way more direct. It looks like we're going to have to do some climbing or whatever. We said we wanted to explore. Let's do it. We have that mindset of we're ready. We feel good. We've done as much training as we could. We took our break. We want this to be the best possible thing. Let's try and rock climb.
Mm-hmm.
Even if we don't make it to the top, we thought we'd rather go for it this way and not make it than go for it the easy way and
Yeah.
make it.
And just for some more context, the rock climbing is a bit later. At first, it was the steep hills and stuff.
It's just steep hills and stuff. Like we were like, okay, if you go this way, you are going up a
you
sheer
do
cliff
remember
or
the
something.
terrain, though, right?
Oh yeah.
Describe that.
Don't you worry.
Obviously,
Bud.
start from... Okay, yeah, go on.
It begins very simply, by just going on this kind of U-turn, and around you is these trees that go up and over you, kind of not trees, bushes. They're like tree bushes.
I'd say they're mini trees. in a
mini
way.
trees and stuff.
Yeah.
But the farther you go down the path, the closer it kept getting, and the more you went, the tighter it got, and the tighter it got, and until you reached kind of a cul-de-sac of bushes with little cutouts.
That reminds me of the time frame. I think this was the first time COVID hit, because that trail at the time was known for being unkept because of COVID, and not many people were
I
coming
think
out.
we started before COVID, and by the time we were done with training, COVID had happened.
and it wasn't being kept well, like maintenance.
So
So
it no longer had maintenance teams.
we figured that out after the hike. We didn't figure out before that. We were wondering, because we kept asking each other, is this
Why
the
does
right
it say
way?
This is a path.
Yeah, it's just like a
'Cause
path.
It was literally a cul-de-sac with just like bushes, and like there was little cutouts in the bushes where we had to like crunch down and go through. And we're like
Like we're not the tallest, but we literally had to like bend
Bend
at the
over.
waist bend the knees, and just
crawl through
Yeah.
basically. But like we didn't like crawl, like we were like scrunching ourselves through. And at this point we'd already gone like a half mile or so. And we're like, we're not turning back. Like this is clearly the faster way. Where
I want to say that was more like, every time I think of 10 miles, I think of 10 miles up. So 5 miles up, 5 miles back. You're right. About mile and a half, I'd say, or a mile.
to that point it was only a half mile because it was another mile of walking through bushes and walking over.
Oh,
the
you
thing
were correct.
and climbing up and down rocks. We'll get to that. We hit the first cul-de-sac and we start kind of first. There's 3 of them.
Well,
There
like
are
paths.
3 like path cutouts, and I literally am looking at the map and doing this and watching the guy turn, and based off like the vision that you can see on the map of like this is the way you're kind of looking.
Yeah.
We pick.
Yeah.
And thinking on it, that was so risky because there's no way to know if it was calibrated correctly or whatever. But I was like, this is the only thing we have to go off of. We have to do this.
It was funny because we decided to pick the one in the middle, and at least in my mind, that was the one pointing toward the mountain the most.
Yeah.
So we were like, you know what? We're gonna like, just like the fork, we went for the path that was directed more towards the mountain. We're like, all right. That was like half of the mindset because Bryce did have the map, and
it was the one that went towards the mountain.
Yeah.
And it was the one that the map supposedly said to go on. So we're like, with this only chance of knowledge that we have, we're gonna have to go for it.
Go for it. Yeah.
So we about crouch down and just start crawling through basically.
Yeah.
And is that where the beehive is, or is that?
No, that's a little after. It's a little after.
This is where we
My
get.
God, I totally forgot about that, dude.
Did you? Yeah.
Jesus.
You did another thing that I don't know if you're gonna talk about.
I'm gonna talk about it.
I will allow you to talk
I'm
about
gonna
it.
talk
if you want
about
to
it.
talk about it.
Anyway, continue, Bracey. You're almost
So
there.
we're crawling through the bushes for quite a while, and then eventually it comes out on this area where, like, basically the bushes above you are cut away, but you're still kind of surrounded by them on either side.
Yeah.
I should mention, I'm in shorts and a t-shirt, like we said earlier.
Yeah.
I'm getting cut up, slashed.
Yeah,
I am slashed.
They're
up,
like
bro.
poking down at us. My hair is long. I usually tie it up. I think I had a visor that time.
The visor, it kept
And
getting
it
hit.
kept like, and also like kept poking out my hair, and it was so
getting
annoying.
pulled. It was so funny.
so annoying. Anyway, go on.
And our hats kept getting hit off by branches and stuff. It was awful.
Like, you either look down to avoid the brim and potentially get hit in the face because you're not looking where you're going, or look up to not get hit in the face,
And
but
lose your hat.
it hits your hat. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's eventually through walking through that for about another half mile. We get up to not even a half mile. It was long.
I'd say a good quarter
It
mile.
was long because we were walking horribly, but it wasn't.
And it was
like,
steep.
Yeah, it was steep, but it was only like a quarter mile in the grand
Yeah.
scheme of like the hike.
Yeah.
It was-
The incline felt like a long time.
Yeah.
That was the thing that did it for us.
And eventually we reached the first mini mountains summit.
That's right.
It has a placard saying the mountain summit. I don't remember the name of it, but it had the summit plaque.
It was like it was a little mini plaque in the center. It was almost like, was it? It wasn't dirt. It was like almost concrete.
No, it was a little bronze plaque. Literally.
Yeah, yeah.
They had poured some concrete and put a bronze plaque that said like summit of this peak.
Yeah, it was really small. It was like maybe this big,
Yeah.
right in the center. But when we hit that spot he's talking
When
about,
you noticed it, you were like, "Oh, this is like."
yeah,
something.
because it was literally like we could spread our arms out and touch each other.
And that was the
lengthwise.
summit.
That's how wide it was. So
Yeah,
it was
but,
actually
like-
pretty nice, pretty good rest stop. We were like,
Yeah,
this
we
is
stopped
definitely a
there.
landmark. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a landmark. We stopped there, like, okay, this is the first like grueling. This is where we are now going to climb the mountain.
It was great because the climbing came a little later because we did have to go back down from that mini summit.
Yeah, by climbing the mountain, I mean this is where we begin
And
to ascend, like
literally,
the actual Batcave.
that is the scariest way down for me because it was so fucking steep and slippery as shit.
True,
Like,
so slippery.
I think I remember one of us literally had to ass slide down because it was so steep.
This guy. That would be me.
It was fucking terrifying. I don't know if I went first or not, but I was very slow.
I went first.
You went first.
I always go
Oh.
first because I have balls of steel.
I like to learn off of experience, and Bryce ass slid down, so I decided to take it extra slow. I did still slip, but extra slow. Anyways, we got down.
We should say Ragnar scans the situation based off how I fuck up. I just go for it, and I
just
say if
goes
I get
for it.
hurt, I get hurt. And Ragnar's like, okay, this is where Bryce went wrong.
I'm gonna try to be careful there and see if there's a little more landmines.
And that's literally how this entire trip, like this whole story, that's how it always goes.
Okay, we're about to hit a good part. There's two good parts. Okay,
this is probably the funniest part, but oh my god,
this is
it's so gross.
This is like one of the last flats that we hit before the peak, because we went down and then we went straight where we could see left to right, but it was it was like knee-high bushes, but we could see left to right. The view wasn't the greatest because it was like a wider plane before the drop off, and there was hella bushes, so it's not like we can go to the drop off and see the best view. So we were like, okay, we kept walking. I think we went down a little bit more. Is this the part?
I can't believe I'm gonna have to relive this.
We went back down, like towards the basically another dip, and we hit our first kind of rock climbing. We had to use our hands this time, so we weren't on our hands and knees laying down. We just had to use our hands to help ourselves get up. And near the end of that, another mini summit peak, we pulled ourselves up, almost real rock climbing. We're not actually in danger though, as long as you're very slow and careful. It's not like we needed gear for this climb. This was literally
it's the perfect amount of challenging, but not dangerous.
Yeah. Because if you're, I caught myself. If you're silly, and lean back like a silly person, you could probably hurt yourself. But because we're not silly, we went carefully. We went slowly because falling back is a little scary, and we weren't too far apart. So if one hits the other,
I'm also a rock. I've done rock climb. I've taught kids.
He does. Yeah, he's done more than me.
So I was very confident in my position.
That was the first good little warm up bit that we did, because there was a lot more after that. So we used our hands. It wasn't hands, knees laying on the rock. We used our hands just to kind of help ourselves
pull ourselves up, pushed ourselves up.
Yeah, basically.
Nothing too
and
major.
We hit another peak-ish. So we would pull ourselves up. I remember the last two rocks was more like rock climbing, because we had to
climb the last two,
pull up, and then go to the left, pull up again, and then if you turned around, you could see a very nice view. But we were like,
do we have a picture?
I don't know, but we did see the summit, another mini summit. When we say mini summit, it's peaks.
There's multiple peaks getting up to. It's if you imagine there's a rock thing here, and there's a rock thing here, and there's a rock thing here, and you have to go up each rock thing
and then go back down again,
and then
up,
you go down and you
peak,
climb that rock thing, and then
again.
back down a little bit and climb the next rock thing,
yeah,
and eventually you get to the final summit. But each one kind of had its own summit vibe, where you'd go into a rock area, you turn around,
because the last three you could literally climb on top of the rocks that are massive and really up tall, and they were climbable and safe too. But again, this wasn't the most difficult stuff ever. We just obviously had to be very careful.
Yes.
But so we went through that first little summit bit. We kind of chilled up there because it was, again, very beautiful, and every summit-ish kind of looking spot with a view, we took a break.
Oh yeah.
Enjoyed ourselves, because this one we weren't rushing. Well, the Albertsons one, we learned okay, rushing is kind of killing the vibe, especially it's a little painful.
Yeah.
This time we
left
work
so
the whole
early.
day.
We made sure the whole point was we had as much time
as time as we needed to enjoy
get
ourselves,
where we wanted to go, to do what we wanted to do, and to travel and experience what we wanted
to. Okay, bless you. So we finished up our stuff, and obviously you gotta pee sometimes, but that's not what I was feeling. A different part of me was getting a little full, and I was like, Bryce, and he's like, yeah, what's up, man? I'm like, I'm gonna shit myself, and he's like, are you serious? And I'm like, yeah, I gotta go now. And he's like, you have nothing to wipe with. I'm like, I could find leaves. I'll explain. I'll go in detail a bit later. So he was like, okay, do what you gotta do. I'll pack up my stuff here. You go on ahead, find a spot. And
he did not
basically
find a spot, by the way.
Come back, get me when you're finished. I'm like, sounds really good, man. So I go down. I left my backpack a little bit behind, not on the top where you were, but I took it off, walked a bit. I'm like, all right, let me explain a little bit.
You've never told me the mindset, this story from your perspective, because I had to experience it. So I'll tell it after from my perspective.
Yeah.
Let me hear your view.
I found a coincidentally nice big area
very coincidentally, it was nice and a large area for me to rest in. So I didn't shit myself. I did the usual pull down at the knees. I was sweaty as shit, so it wasn't the most comfortable thing. And I keep getting the image of what it looked like. It's just fucking with me. It's horrible. Okay, so you know, like if you ever shit outside, whether you're in a daycare and you're too lazy to go to the bathroom and you shit next to a tree, or you're in a hike like my situation and you just go in a nice big open area, you want it to be kind of like smooth and not damp, right? Because damp equals wipe. If you don't have wiping material, that's not a very pleasant thing to run your asshole through. So I was like, all right, I'm hoping I'm just going to push this motherfucker out. Hope to God that is not damp. And I got a couple of leaves with me ready because I want to be prepared, right? They weren't big leaves. I was very upset about that. And I was afraid it was poison ivy. So I got a bunch of small leaves, probably not the best thing I could have done, and kind of put it in my hand like this, my thumb down here. You guys can see my thumb like up in my front knuckles area, so I didn't get my thumb in shit. So I just got the fingertips in, you know? We had hand sanitizer, didn't we? Yeah, yeah, we did. We did have hand sanitizer. You don't have to confirm. I remember, definitely. Hand sanitizer. So I let that shit out. I fucking push. I just committed. Make sure the feet are shoulder width apart. You bend over at the waist, 90 degrees at the knees. Don't hit your shoes. I looked down. Didn't hit my shoes. Bryce was like, we had a conversation as I was doing this. My asshole was out.
Yeah, because it was dead silence. So you could talk from like 100 feet away and hear each other. Like I could be like, hey, Regnar, and he would be unable to respond.
He was like, are you done yet? And that's when I realized I'm not going to be done very fast. Because mine was not solid nor
Please don't describe
undamped.
your shit to the viewers.
Well, Bryce saw it, and it was
so atrocious. I'm scarred. I'm scarred from the images. And also, when I said go down and find somewhere to go, I meant like go off the path, go into the bushes.
You know how I said it's a nice big open area?
It was the path.
It was the middle of the path.
Middle of the fucking path.
I wasn't thinking about it because I had to go so bad, but I was like, hey, this is a nice, comfortable, big open area. I can do it comfortably here.
It was so fucking atrocious.
And it wasn't clumped together. So
and
it was like, you know how
you just dropped like six pieces of grass on it and it was like,
the leaves were really small too. So yeah, I was like, no, I'm not done yet. And he's like, how long are you going to be? I'm going to be like, a minute. Because I used the initial leaves and that wasn't enough. So I
can picture you squatting down.
I was,
shit dripping,
dude, literally, I waddled my way because I didn't want to hit my shoes. Fuck that. I didn't want to carry that shit with me, literally. I waddled my way over to the leaves that I got it from, picked a couple of the ones out that didn't look very prickly, and then went again. Got to go one more. Got to be safe. So I threw that on the shit, picked a couple more, wiped. I thought it might be okay. So I put that shit down. I stood up, locked my knees to make sure there's nothing in the middle. And if there is, I would have to wipe again. I think there was nothing. I was sweating at the time, so I think there was nothing. And I pull my shit back up. No, I pull my pants back up. I pull my pants back up. And with my leggings and the shorts. And I was like, I look down at it and I'm like, holy shit. Why is it so wide?
And
like,
green.
Not itself, because it wasn't together, like solid, right? So it just pooled out like pudding almost.
Okay, that's
wet pudding.
That's enough about your shit, dude.
And it was like, God, I think the leaves made it green because I remember it being really bright brown, like unnaturally bright brown.
Can we stop?
Bryce was like, "Are you done yet? Are you good?" And I was like, "Okay, yeah, Bryce, you can come back." So I met him halfway to him because I had to go get my backpack, and I was like, "You might see it." And he's like, "Where did you shit?" I'm like, "Off to the side somewhere. It's okay."
No, it wasn't.
You don't even have to look. You don't have to turn your eyes. You don't even have to turn your head. You don't even have to look to the side. It was right in the middle of the path. He said, "Ragnar, you shit in the middle of the path."
I was pissed.
And I look side to side because I was done having that shit anxiety in my heart. And I was like, wow, I did just do that.
Yeah,
I shit in the middle of the path. Yeah. So
Okay, and at this point, I run. I just run past
You-
it. I
you-
don't
you
want
let-
to acknowledge
yeah.
this. I don't want to be in this situation. I run up the path about 100 feet, and I just wait for him to catch up. And I'm like, Ragnar, I'm not
Ugh.
talking to you right now.
I can't
You
do this
shit
right
on
now.
the path.
Hey man, as far as I know,
And-
that's very normal.
And that's when I hear.
Oh my god, dude. We walked a little bit as well. We walked a little bit. Yeah.
Well, I start hearing it then. I hear. Bzzz.
Oh, you were like, do
It's
you
in
hear
the
that?
distance.
And I'm like, what do you
Bzzz.
mean?
And Ragnar's like, what are you talking about? Bzzz. I'm like, Ragnar, I fucking hear something. He's like, no.
we
let's
take
keep
a
going.
we take a couple more steps, and I'm like, I fucking hear that too.
Bzzz.
Oh, like, the closer we walked, we were kind of in denial at the time. We're like, no.
It's probably just 1 or 2 bees.
Yeah. The closer, like, the more steps we took, maybe like 10, 20 more steps.
The more buzzes you heard.
A lot.
And then eventually you started hearing 20,
A lot.
30, 40, a bunch of buzzes
Yeah.
coming from everywhere. And you're like, this is a fucking beehive. This is an active beehive. And at this point, it was back to how the path was at the beginning, where it was trees going over.
Oh my god.
Trees going over, and the beehive was at the top of the tree. So
In
we
the
had
middle
to
of the
duck
path.
down.
Yeah.
We already had to duck down normally. But then on extra, we had to duck down literally like to the ground, like huddling the ground as hundreds of bees flew above us.
I remember we took a minute to consider going back.
And then I'm like, I'm not going back by your shit. We were literally stuck between a shit and a beehive.
It's great.
That's like a rock and a hard place. Like,
Shit in a beehive.
I'm stuck between a shit and a beehive.
I remember when we walked up to it and then started hearing the 40, 50, a lot of bees. We were like, dude, this is fucking scary. We're bending over, but we don't see any at our eye
when
line
we
because, you know,
saw it.
we looked down because of our hats and our hair. We looked up, dude, that thing was thick and swarming. Like, I don't want to exaggerate, but,
I get chills thinking
dude,
about
you
it,
could
bro.
literally,
If we
not
if
barely,
we
but you
had
could
touched it,
yeah.
we would probably have died. I'm gonna
No,
be
no.
honest, because I don't know if I'm allergic to bees. I've never been stung by a bee.
Yeah.
I've never gotten tested for. I have no clue. I could be.
Yeah, that was like I've never seen a beehive up close like that, and it was literally hanging above our heads. Like we crouch ran past that shit and more to make sure we got out of there. And I think who went first? I don't remember.
Me.
You went first.
Yeah.
You went for it because he's like, "Fuck
balls
this,
of steel,
yeah,
bro.
fuck it, go for it." And I was like, "Okay, I guess it's my turn." And then I fucking go for it.
Ragnar
I'm
was
just-
the whole time. He's like,
I was not, you motherfucker, you fucking liar. I was not.
He totally was.
I was not. This guy's lying.
I might be lying.
He might be lying.
It's fun to fuck with him.
In my mind, I was like that though.
I
That was
know.
fucking scary, dude.
I saw it in
Dude,
your eyes.
hundreds of bees, dude. Fuck that. Fuck that. And we were hitting the branches that were around us, and there was only a few like at our level, mostly up there, but we were still like brushing, making a tiny bit of noise. Like we crouched down extra to be able to run past that shit.
Every step, you were like, okay, as quiet as you
You
could.
you literally said, I don't care where you are. I'm running until I'm not hearing that buzzing anymore. I'm like, respect. I'm right behind you. And we just
Dude, the
went.
second I was under it and like I knew it was behind me, I took off.
Yeah. He just went, and I'm like, yep, this is right.
Like,
This is good.
You snuck under it, and as soon as you were like, you had like a foot of distance between it, you were gone.
Yeah, gone. And yeah, so that was
The beehive.
the scariest thing. We have things after the summit on later trips that were a little scary. The actual rock climbing. You remember that?
We did actual rock climbing, and we almost
With
died
backpacks,
of dehydration.
and-
But
The last time we went, like I shit you not, I almost lost finger grab on that one time.
no, yeah, we were
'Cause that-
losing vision and shit. We
Yeah.
probably should have called 911, but we had no service. But oh well.
No, not that one. The one we did. I think. Shit. Did we do more? No, we went again, like one or two more times after the longest hike.
No,
But
we've
that's
done that.
less
We've done
significant.
we've done that mountain like 7
Yeah.
or 8 times at this point.
Yeah.
We do it all the time.
Yeah. Anyway, we got past the beehive. That was fucking scary. It was nice because the other times that we did it, the other 7 or 8 times, no beehive.
Or shit.
Or
I don't know
shit.
where the shit went.
Probably some
I
coyote
really
ate
thought
it.
we were gonna see it on the second time, but we didn't. I was
I
like,
mean, I'm sure it rained maybe once or twice.
where'd it go? It's in our ecosystem. Is it in our water?
Maybe
Is
plants
your
are growing
shit in
because
our
of it. I
water
was
right
hoping
now?
to see a plant growing out of it, but
Can you imagine if like that water feels like an ecosystem? And your shit is now in like the plants, and
It definitely is.
your
Shit
shit's
is
now
fertilizer.
watering the strawberries.
No, not like that. It was in a mountain, bro.
Drainage, man.
Facts. Anyway, we got up. So there was one more kind of summit part that we got up. That was like the crouch kind of deal. Took a break up there. And this one was where we really were like, there's no way this is the path. There's no way this is the actual
That
path.
feeling.
Because each summit we went up, even after the first one, on our we're using our hands to get up. Going back down, fuck no. With backpacks weighing us back, fuck no. So we finally hit a spot where it looked like it was almost like a drainage system, right?
It was a drainage system. I'm pretty
Just
sure.
like water, not purposely, but water would flow through that and kind of made a
If
trench.
Water had made a trench, and
Yeah.
people had designed it into a path somehow for some fucking reason.
I do remember that. So remember that like there was that actual path, but one side was just fucking deep because of the water. So I think that's what happened.
Yeah,
It just
but
started
there's
corroding
technically
on one
two
side.
paths, kind of like you could go up two sides, and I think we got stuck because I know one time we've gotten up there
With the other side?
without taking that drainage pipe, but I think that's the.
We went straight instead of the big route.
But that was also sketch as fuck because you had to climb those like rock things. To
That's
get
true, but it was less sketch than the drain
Yeah,
part.
the drainage looked okay from the bottom, and you get about halfway, and you're like, I'm in a
Yeah,
drain.
when
on a
you look
mountain,
at it, because
hanging onto branches.
roots
Roots.
were coming out the side of it, and we put our lives into that, fucking holding onto that shit and yeeting ourselves up,
What
some
were we
breaking
doing?
off. Yeah, we were more and more convinced because like the more we went up, it was the same. It was the same. It looked like just waterway. There was no water because it was summer, but it looked like water corroded that entire way down. So we're just like, is this the path up? Where are we going? And yeah, so we went.
I need more coffee.
That's chilling because this was our first time. It was a lot of mental doubt when we hit those
Oh,
steps.
yeah. There was no confidence. That
Yeah,
we
we're like, dude, where are we gonna end up?
Are
Is
we
this gonna
sure we're
is
going
this
to
gonna
the mountain,
like we're gonna hit a dead end and have to go back down? And we're like, dude, no, we got to see this through. There's no way. I remember you kept checking the map and you were like, it says it's a path, but there's no way this is a safe path. It wasn't safe. It wasn't safe
But
at
like
all.
my phone kept saying, keep going. There's a path.
Yeah, and he's like, but yeah, why don't you take it from there? Because there was a
So we just got through the drainage.
there was multiple ones of those because like we would hit a drain and almost go through a normal path, but then there would be more.
Yeah, and then we got to a point where we're on the final rock summit area. And then there's this beautiful view behind us, but we are literally sitting on like
The last one.
60-degree angle rocks, like cliff faces.
I'm glad that we had like a massive rock one side of us, so where we could actually lean on something. That was
Yeah.
nice.
So you get to the top of the drainage, you literally climb on top of like this rock face in the drainage, and then you're on top of like a bunch of like rock faces that like curve into the mountain over and over again. You kind of just like crawl up the rock faces.
We were not walking. This was bear crawling.
You were like bear crawling up the rock faces.
Sometimes
You'd get
on
to,
our
like, a
knees
place
as
you
well.
could like sit,
yeah.
and then you like turn around and like you'd find a way to like bear crawl up the next one, and
Mm-hmm.
like it wasn't quite steep enough to be considered like you could slide if there was too much loose gravel on it, you definitely would.
If you
slide.
had bad shoes,
you would slide.
like if you didn't have hiking shoes and you lifted your feet, you would go down.
Oh yeah, and if you just like tried to use your hands, you would slide.
You would still keep going. Yeah. So you had to have your feet down. You had to be like
You had to have
planted
3
on the
points of
rock.
contact at all times.
Yeah, that's right.
If you did 3 points of contact, you were okay because like one definitely could have slipped at any time. It was sketch.
Yeah. That was the view was great, but
Oh, it was beautiful. We stopped so much just to
Yeah,
turn around.
we-
I hope we have a picture.
we're definitely gonna add that in there for you guys. But
Yeah, if we have pictures, they're gonna probably go right here, depending on where we are. Maybe down here. We'll see.
yeah. But yeah. So we were able to kind of get past that last rocky part, and we hit a real trail that we definitely saw the real peak this time. We were like, okay, this because remember there was one last rock where we climbed up on our hands, and then it was another one of the kind of tallish bushes, but it was more, you could see more.
Yeah.
Like it was like more flat up top on our head level, and we're like, okay, we can actually see shit. There's no more up there. There's just the
That's
summit.
the top.
That's the top. So we're like, we fucking did it.
We're close. We're
We are
almost there.
close. So we kind of almost had the mindset where when we began, we just fucking trenched our way up. We were definitely tired because honestly, mental fatigue was a lot of it because there was so much doubt. We were like, dude,
For literally 2 miles, like we could have to turn around at any moment.
yeah,
Like then after this cliff face, the next one could be impossible.
yeah,
We had no idea.
yeah.
And it was supposed to be. It was not supposed to be climbable. That's what the dashes meant.
Mm-hmm.
You weren't supposed to climb it. The path was closed, and we still.
And
fucking
they
did it.
were noticeably not maintained.
Not taken care of.
Yeah, noticeably not maintained.
You were stomping on branches. You were getting cut up. You were.
You would
was
step.
not a good
Sometimes
time.
rocks would fall down, and we'd be like, "Oh, watch out!" And we got to be careful. Stop. Let them pass. And then that happened many times. Slipped many times.
Oh,
A lot of close calls. We really put our lives into those routes. We love nature for that,
Shout out to trees, bro.
dude. For real,
I
they're
can't believe
strong.
You hated and fucked trees earlier. Like,
Hated.
yeah, you were hating on trees.
I don't hate them. They are necessary, which means I don't hate them. But
They really saved our lives, bro.
they did. They did. They did save our lives.
Shout out trees.
I do understand the real purpose for trees, humans,
To save lives while climbing mountains.
and paper. Two things for us.
Shout out to paper. Anyway,
Yeah, shitting on
we
trees.
finally see it. We see the Bat Cave.
Yeah, Batcave Trail, and yeah, it was
It was a fun final climb because we knew how close we were.
yeah.
I remember the whole time, like, because you can see it at the top. You can see, like, where the rocks reach over, and there was a place to sit, and you could see the entire view. And you could see it from about 1,000 yards away.
Mm-hmm.
So a good distance. But, like, you
I wouldn't
knew
say 1,000 yards. That's 10
1,000
football
feet.
fields. Yeah, maybe not even that.
it was pretty far, bro, because we had to
Not
walk.
1,000 though. It was uphill, so it felt far. Because I was
You're
like,
right. 1,000 feet of elevation is quite some distance.
I would say
It was like
max 500, max.
Yeah, you
That's
could see it from
pushing
like 500 feet away.
It was still inclined, so it felt long. It
Yeah.
wasn't. It still wasn't easy. But it was. I was excited to get to the top and show Bryce that one of the things that made that mountain kind of an attraction in the area is that there's a notebook and a plastic bag and a pen, a couple of pens at the very top, and people would write their name, write down some words or a story, whatever, and then put the notebook back. And for whoever goes in there can read it, write their own stuff. So we spent like a couple of minutes doing that. That's like one thing that I enjoy a lot about that because it shows everyone's experience.
Also, here's a picture of us on the.
Oh, facts.
I know I have that one.
We do. We
I
definitely
know
do.
I have that one. So here's to prove
Do we have a
this is-
video?
to prove this is all real.
Do we have a video?
Here's a bunch of pictures of us on the top of the mountain. I might have a video, but I'm not.
We
sure I can
definitely,
put up
yeah,
a
we
video.
definitely did take a bunch of pictures. We found a bunch of spots to like sit with, like literally one of them was our legs dangling off of the side of the cliff, and we took pictures from the Bat Cave.
And
remember that shit?
Remember you? Oh yeah, that like rock out
Yeah,
thing.
you have that. Thing.
I went and sat on and like
Yeah.
was leaning over it. Yeah,
Yeah,
that one's
that was-
sick. I
that
hope I
was-
can find those.
That was really cool. But yeah, that's definitely in my memories. It's got to be.
Yeah, we'll find those and we'll put them all. Like, here's a bunch of pictures of it to prove this is real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we chilled up there for a while because that was hard. You know, uphill for what? That was like a
5 mile
4
hike.
hour, or like
4
4
mile, 1,003, about 5,000 total elevation feet change.
Yeah, because we went up, down, up, and then many up downs on the way up the main mountain.
Some rock climbing for about 4 hours. Yeah, it took us it took us 3 hours, I'd say, to ascend the first.
Yeah, a little bit over 3, I'd
'Cause
say.
our final ascent was about an hour and 50 minutes. We really
Going down?
No, our ascent. Remember the last time we ascended?
Oh, dude, we
we
annihilated it.
annihilated. We've gotten so good.
We
at
were
that
surprised.
mountain,
We were surprised how good we were
bro.
doing.
We started at 8. We were up there at 9:30. And we're like, we have the full day ahead of
Yeah,
us.
that's when we decided if we wanted to go more to see anything that's past the mountain.
No, we'd already gone past, bro. With this, like, I'm talking about the most recent time.
Oh, the most recent
Like,
time.
literally,
Yeah,
when
we
went like a couple months ago when we were just like, let's fucking hike it.
yeah we crushed that.
crushed
It was really good because like we didn't really prepare like train as we did
Like, we
before.
know it so well at this point. It's
Yeah,
like,
we didn't have that mental fatigue that we had in the very first time because there was a lot of doubt.
after doing it
Yeah.
like 9 times, you're just like, I can do it.
Yeah, it's basically a walk in the park.
We
That's
should
a
try
little
and
bit
crush
tough.
our time. That'd be an allegedly correct episode.
Oh shit! An hour and a half up. Get under that. That's gonna be like 1 or 2 water breaks, bro.
We should see what the world record for ascending that.
I'm sure it's online somewhere.
Let's see if there is a record that someone said, and let's try and beat it for the back cave.
I feel like it's gonna be like an hour and 15.
Okay, we got to train again. I think we could beat it, dude. We're in tip top shape.
Yeah.
Well, you are. I got to get back, but I
you can get it back.
Quickly.
No, you can get it back. But yeah, so on our way down was terrifying. The first time on our way down was terrifying because
so slippery.
Yeah,
so.
I remember
slippery.
us saying like, like a normal straight flat path downward, right? Something looks like this. It wasn't that. It was literally
it was
rock
rocks.
drop, like a 2 foot, 3 foot drop, rock drop.
All of which was
Maybe
covered
flat.
in sand.
Yeah, it was not maintenance, like everything.
Covered in sand and dirt, and just it was so fucking slippery and scary.
Yeah, like
at that point, I would have rather been in the fucking drain.
yeah. We literally, I remember like halfway down, we're like, dude, is this even better than the way we went up?
We're like, I'm honestly glad we didn't come up.
Yeah,
this way.
because like if we
still
did,
haven't. We have never gone up that way.
I went up there with my sister once, and it is a lot of using the hands to get up. Not quite rock climbing at all, but a lot of pushing up, like upper body stuff, to get up those rocks. Definitely the drainage way is more fun and more difficult, which is why it's more fun. We only take that way.
Oh yeah.
On the way up. On the way down, we do take the not
slippery, scary way, because the
suicide
drainage way seems really dangerous.
It is.
I don't want to risk my life like that.
Yeah, no, that's not worth it. It's good for the way up. I need to take a piss. So, do you want to describe some stuff that we did on the way down? Just basically the train and.
Yeah, I'll give them a quick
because-
summary. The way down wasn't all that interesting. We kind of saw a lot of the same points.
We did figure out that the way down from that fork we talked about earlier was that way.
Like it was a complete loop. We got a really good understanding of that mountain area, and from there we were. All right, I'm a move his microphone all the way over there, so you ain't picking me up. So from there, we were able to really assess what we were getting into and what that 10-mile hike was like. We were able to see how much of it was going to be an ascent, how much of it was going to be the descent, how difficult each part was, what we needed for each thing. And from there, we knew we wanted to do more. Because it was such a fun experience, like going down. Going up and going down. What am I even saying? Whenever Ragnar's not here, I totally like shut down and forget how to speak. It's really funny. Because like I'm so natural like with talking with you. But when I just have to talk to the camera, I like stumble so much. Which is funny because I'm the YouTuber that has live streamed for like 8 years. I used to live stream. So I should be really good at talking to a camera, but that's why I live stream, because I hated talking to just the camera.
The only reason why I'm kind of good at it, let me get under this blankie.
Blanky.
The only reason why I'm kind of good at talking is because I do enjoy letting thoughts flow, which is why sometimes I say silly things. Anyway, where would you leave off?
I honestly didn't say anything worth a while. Okay, so basically, we descended it. It was very, very slippery. Honestly, this descent isn't really all that important because it wasn't enough. Honestly, the 10 miles was a blast. It was a lot of fun. But as we said, we've conquered it.
For the first time that we did it, it was
enough, but it was like we knew that we could do more.
We were definitely tired by the end of it. But
we were proud.
We wanted to do it again, like on our way back down, because we hit the same fork, so we took the snake path down. We saw the views on the way down. We got lower and lower, and then went up and up, where he recognized he caused a suicide. Sorry. Yeah, he will be in our hearts forever, and in our
Rip
memories.
Larry.
Rip Larry.
I think I did actually name him Larry. If I remember correctly, we did name it. I think it was Larry the Lizard.
Good old Larry. That shit was funny, dude. That guy literally, like, it was funny because, like, I didn't see him, like, throw himself off. I saw him upside down falling
You
off.
just saw that dude flipping. Like,
Yeah, like, I was like,
Bryce, what just happened?
was
Like,
that a fish with legs?
I landed and he jumped.
He just killed himself.
jumped,
just committed
man.
Suicide. But yeah, so we went all the way back. We hit our landmarks, like the tree at the bottom of Larry's And then we went up and then got to the top of that part, went back down. So this is like the hill before the mountains because we're going back down. And we hit the well. We hit the steps first, and then we hit the well. And
No,
then
it's well then steps. It's the other way.
steps first. If we're going towards the beginning part of the trail, because
That's not how I told it.
that is how we told it.
Okay.
Okay.
I don't think I did, but okay.
We can check it later. We managed to get all the way back down. I kept my hydro. I have a big hydro. It's actually
It's right there.
this one right here, thick man. In the future, in the latest journeys, I took that with me in my backpack. This time I left it in the car because I wanted to be able to have something to
Refuel
drink.
after.
Yeah, and we did really good on rationing that time.
That time we did amazing.
We did
and
really
it
good on
made us
rationing.
way too confident
Yes.
about taking enough water. It made us
Yes.
way too fucking confident.
Yes.
And that's why, ladies and gentlemen, we need to tell you about our final adventure in this saga.
Did we go up and down like a couple more times before
We did it 2 more times.
Okay.
So we got really confident at that circle, that loop.
Yeah.
And we knew on the second and third time, we knew there was a path, as I mentioned earlier, that went to the right at one point. And we at one point we did go to it, and we saw that there was literally rock bouldering that we had to do to keep going. And we turned around and we're like, not right now.
Yeah.
And then we did it a third time, and we're like, maybe we could do this. I know we climbed up at that time.
It was great because
anything.
the second and third time we climbed it, it was getting easier and easier, and I think that was one of the things that boosted our egos and confidence. Is like, dude, we were like, it wasn't like our last one like an hour and a half going up, because like the first time it was literally a little over 3 hours, like 3 hours and 10 minutes maybe. Mm-hmm. Our like second one was maybe like 2 hours, 240, and our third one was like 2 hours and a half, or maybe 2 hours 15.
We didn't improve much on this last third, because the third one
we just felt
took
better,
our time.
Yeah, we just felt good. Like we weren't
We were
as
really
exhausted.
confident. We knew where we were going. We weren't
That's right.
questioning anything. We were having great mental attitude.
Yeah, we knew exactly the path we needed to take, and
We
took
had
it.
a lot more stuff as well the third time.
We did.
We wanted to have like a whole feast up at the top.
Yeah. Oh, that was great. That was a good time.
we took a bunch of food.
And on our third one, I think that is our third one where we kind of went a little past, like we wanted to explore.
Our third one is where we did the actual rock climbing.
But we didn't do the whole route.
No,
Not the,
we did the
yeah.
actual rock climbing. We got to the top. We saw that like in
I wanna-
order to
I wanna-
get to the path that we saw,
Yeah.
we had to climb over, like we had to climb down through stuff and climb up another side. We had to do true like bouldering and climbing.
The most dangerous part, because I do want to talk about this for a few minutes.
It was definitely this.
That and the first rock climbing part, because that was like literally
A rock wall.
more than twice our height, and we had backpacks on.
We
didn't
did a
empty out yet.
25-foot rock wall.
Yeah, and the ground was rock with some bushes. Oh my god! The second time or third time we went, I just remember this. We were going up. I think it was like the third summit, third or fourth mini one to get to the very top. It may have been the last one. And I remember Brett was going first, and I was following. And there was a rock. You remember this shit? There was a rock. I didn't do this on purpose. There was a rock that was shaky, and it was a big one. I was about to put my hand on it and my weight, and I was like, I'm going to see if I can take this out because it might be safer or a better foothold. It was like a little bit bigger than my head. Like it was really big. I throw it down. I don't say a word, funnily enough, and it cracks on another rock. And
I freeze and I don't turn around. I freeze my place and I go, Ragnar?
And I was like, hey, that was a big rock. And you go, fuck you. Fuck you. I thought you died.
I was so petrified.
I wasn't focused at all on his reaction because I was just watching the rock hit the ground. And it was only until after he explained what he was feeling.
I literally froze still. I was like, my best friend just died.
Because I didn't say a word after. I literally silence, crack, and like 3 seconds of more silence. I just was looking down at the rock. I'm like,
I go, Ragnar? I was so
I didn't
scared.
turn around either.
I didn't. I refused to turn around.
Oh my god, that was great. Yeah, he
It
literally
wasn't, bro.
thought I died. He
It was
literally
not
thought I
fucking
He
great.
was like, dude, I thought that was your head, and I was like, oh shit, I didn't even think of that. That was
the
fucking
third
hilarious.
time.
That was the third time.
That was
Yeah.
the third time.
That was, dude, I just remember that. That was wild.
Because the fourth time was when we kept going.
Yeah. So
And the fourth time is what we're going to talk about right now. Because
Yeah.
this is when we decided to do the
we
20.
he had the maps, and he was like, "Dude, I'm gonna find a way for us to find a whole loop." And describe how you found that whole loop, because you were looking for a minute on the
So
maps.
there's the Bat Cave Trail. And then there's a beach near. Not a beach. I don't know what to call it. There's a water thing on like the opposite side.
Oh, like
of,
a
the
like a water
mountain.
tower almost.
No, it's like
There's like 2 water towers, I thought.
no. There's like lakes and stuff on the other side. And I don't know.
You mean the ocean?
Yeah, there's an ocean. Okay. I don't want you to go mad at me.
Oh no, it's fine. The coast could be anywhere.
There's basically a coast on the other side of the mountain range.
We were like,
And
what, 1 or
there's
2 in?
A trail labeled on the mountain. There's another trail. I'm gonna call it the Pacific Ocean Trail because that's not its name. And you had to go across that rock feature I kind of told you about, and you could get to the Pacific Ocean Trail.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, wait a minute, bro. Like those rocks looked climbable. They looked movable. And I saw the Pacific Ocean Trail. I know I saw it when we were walking by.
Mm-hmm.
So if we could climb it, we could connect the two, and we could do a 20-mile full loop hike where we start on the Bat Cave Trail. We do our normal loop, and then we go and jump over, basically, to the Pacific Ocean Trail.
So basically from the peak, we would just continue. We wouldn't start going back. From the peak, we just keep going, like further from where we started. So that makes it further on the way back. Anyway, continue.
Yeah, so in the Pacific Ocean Trail takes you all the way down like the ridge of the mountain. So you're literally going to walk down it slowly and then wrap around it and then go down into the valley. This is what we thought it would do. We thought it would wrap down the ridge and then slowly go down the valley. Instead of having us do this a bunch, we thought we were going to just slowly descend down in a snake.
We thought it was a little more gradual than a lot of up and down windiness.
Boy, were we wrong.
We were very, very happy until after the rock climbing, because we agreed that the rock climbing is our favorite part. Probably
We did
because
that
it's the most
bouldering as
dangerous.
well. We should talk
We
about
did.
that. We should talk about the bouldering.
We did. So we did our normal hike up the drainage way.
The fourth attempt, we did the fourth summit. We did the drainage way. We did the
No shit, no beehive, all
we
good
did
stuff.
the same rock climbing thing that we did the first time. We got to that point, and from there, we literally just started experimenting different routes.
Yeah.
Literally back, like we would go down a little bit and be like, nope, we can't go from here, and we climb back up.
It was
and
crazy
we go
'cause,
down
like,
another way.
The path was like maybe 6 inches of like untamed grass, so it was really hard to differentiate where you're supposed to go and where you're not. And
Well,
Bryce was
honestly,
better at navigating.
I
'cause
don't
would
think
just
we were
go
even
anywhere.
on a path. We were literally, I was like climbing around rock faces, like kind of trying to
We're talking
avoid.
about the rock part.
Yeah, I'm
Oh,
talking
okay.
about like the rock part. I'm not even to what you're talking about.
Okay, I'm
We're
a little
still
ahead.
on the rock part.
Yeah.
We got
That-
up to the rock face,
we did
and we
take a
literally
while.
had to. We just kept discussing. Remember, you wanted to go one way, and there was another beehive. You wanted
There
to go to
was.
the right, and
Oh,
there was
you're
another
right, there
beehive.
was.
And so I brought you left, and we went down into that lower valley rock, and then we jumped to the other rock, and then we were able to climb up the other
We
side.
would not have been able to go back if we wanted to.
No, as soon as we jumped that rock, it was done. We were
Yeah,
we were
had
on
to
the
go,
other
we had to
side.
continue.
And that's when we knew that. With that, remember there was a discussion. We're like, okay, if we do this, we are committing because you cannot reascend this rock.
Yeah.
You're jumping down. Once you do it, you're there, and you have to then go to the Pacific Ocean Trail.
Yeah.
That we're committing, and that's when we had the discussion. We're like, okay, how far do we go? How much water do we have? We had about
we thought we were
2.5, 3 water bottles left because we brought 6.
Yeah. Yeah. We thought
We're like,
we were
okay,
good.
we're halfway done. We have about half our water left. We still have snacks. Let's do it.
Yeah.
We jump down and we begin our trail.
Yeah.
And as Ragnar was saying, the very start you could not really see where the trail was. It was like that grass like waves around a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So even though there was a defined path, it was always being like covered by the wind.
It was
So
still
you
not
never
maintenance,
really
so-
it wasn't maintenance. You never
Yeah.
really knew if you were on the path until like you looked down.
You were
and
always
below
on
the
your phone
grass.
though with the trail.
Yeah, so we were
that
really
that helped us-
following.
that helps us
We
a
were
lot.
following the trail map as much as we were following the actual like route.
Yeah.
So we knew which way we needed to go, no matter what. And we walked along that for about another mile, and about the 6th or 7th mile, we found these really, really tall boulders. And
Wasn't it a singular one?
It was
Just one-
two split.
Oh,
two
that's right.
split.
That's right.
Because I taught you how to spider climb.
Yeah, I was not confident in myself there.
Yeah, so I have done parkour and like rock climbing and stuff like that.
Let's paint the picture a little bit more. So this was like kind of on the way down. We were still kind of taking it easy.
Yeah,
like
we're on the descent. It's
yeah.
starting to just slowly go down. It's only
Yeah.
been like a mile or two hike. We're feeling great. We're like
Like a mile or two
We're at
after
mile 12.
the summit of
no, we're at mile 7.
no, yeah, so like a couple miles after.
Holy crap! You know what we never considered? We're
Mhm.
like, oh, it's only another 8 miles. It was another 12
Yeah.
miles.
We were off
from
by
our
a lot.
summit. We thought we were being done. We're like, oh, it's 10 miles total we've done. So it's not like there's gonna be much more. It was double the descent we normally did, and we didn't think about that.
We didn't think of how, because we kept going away from our starting point, which means
We had
we
farther
had
to go
more
back
to
to
come
our
back.
starting
That's
point.
right.
That's the
So-
miscalculation we made in our water.
Yeah. Oh my god, dude, you're right. Honestly, I
Well, I
don't know.
never thought
I
about
don't
that
know if we could have had enough water then.
to carry.
Yeah, because that's a lot.
We would have had to conserve. We just needed when
Unless
we were going up.
we planned to get to the
No.
faucet, but
No, going up.
yeah.
We just knew we needed to conserve way more than we did that time
Yeah,
because
for
we
real.
didn't know how much we needed it.
Yeah, we underestimated a bit. We
But
underestimated
basically-
nature
Picture this rock that had been struck by a hammer and split in half perfectly.
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 You could if
It
you go
was
if you go
smooth.
sideways and you're not like a fat guy, if you could go
You would
sideways,
just slide through.
You could slide through like almost. It's really close to you, but you could shimmy your way through if you wanted to.
And so I was like, Ragnar, have you ever spider climbed before? And imagine it's literally on top of like the peak. So when you look out, you're like on a boulder on top of a hill looking out over
And
the
this thing was maybe like
about
15
feet.
feet
It was about
high.
15 feet tall.
Yeah,
And so I show him how to spider climb. I do it super quick. I get on up.
he's good at that.
And he's like,
I did it way slower.
what?
I was like, I contemplated not doing it.
He did. He was, and I was like, Ragnar, you got it. It's super easy to get
Yeah.
down. It's actually, once you do it, it's actually super easy.
Yeah, because I like we also discussed that like we're not really gonna go back anytime soon to that spot because we had to keep going forward. It's not like we're going to turn back if I'm too tired or get hurt.
Yeah.
So I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I'll just go slow, and if anything, just stick my hands, arms, legs, and feet, because I have 4 limbs, out to the side and catch myself. But yeah, I shimmied my way up. We sat up there for a minute though.
Oh, a long time.
We
Mostly
sat
because
there
we
for,
didn't
like-
know how to get down.
So we sat up there for a minute, got like some water. I think you were able to make it down, and I just followed your
No,
path
yeah,
extra slow.
I slowly designed a path down because I've done a lot of descent climbing and stuff,
Yeah,
and so
He
I
verbally
designed a path
guided
down,
me.
and then I guided him down.
yeah. So we ended up getting down safely.
It took us like 30 minutes.
I brought the machete that time
and we
because
used it.
I knew it was, or
We
knew
knew
it
the
was
path
on
weren't maintenance, so
Yeah.
we're like, how we
we
can
assumed it
imagine
would be
how
worse.
bad the Pacific Ocean
Oh my
was.
fucking god!
And it was so much worse than we could have ever
Like the
imagined.
machete was not enough. Like I ended up
After-
not using it.
After bouldering, it just became pure fucking hell.
Okay,
Quite honestly,
you know, what would we call them? The
shitheads.
Shitheads. Okay. When you hike and there's a lot of bushes and stuff at your feet, they're not quite twigs, but they're like
Prickly baldings.
prickly balls with like almost like seeds.
Yeah,
Like
they're
really,
seeds. They are
really
seeds.
straight, short needled seeds with like little fuzz because they're seeds, and they would stick into your socks,
There
in
was
the
a
bottom of
shithead
your
in
shoes.
the dickhead plant. The dickhead plant was the one that stabbed you.
Yeah, the dickhead. So dickhead plants. That's not aloe, is it? Is that an aloe?
I think I don't remember what they were called, but they would literally poke you.
Yeah,
and
they
leave
were
you, like,
really
pain.
sharp. We established what they were on our first hike, and we kept calling them that.
For our 8 or 9
other
climbs,
ones,
they're
yeah.
dickheads on shithead plants.
And then shitheads, oh, dude.
The shitheads would just stick to you, and we'd have to stop and just pick them all off. And every quarter mile, we'd be like, all right, we have to stop. And we'd stop, and we'd pick them all out of our legs and our shoes.
You know, one thing that we didn't take for account as well, it rained a couple days before, and that flared up my allergies a lot. Did it flare yours as
We
well?
were miserable.
Dude, it was
I
like
totally forgot
we were
about the allergies.
we were actually not happy.
It
Like,
was literally just... this is
Constant
disgusting,
drip,
but it was
yeah.
just snot. It was just literally... Our faces were covered in snot, and there's
Yeah.
nothing we could do about it.
And the worst part is you know how like corn is really tall, or can be really tall. We were basically running through that, but they were like plants filled with pollen. filled because it just rained, and like shedding pollen in our faces and in our clothes and in our socks that were pinching us. And every like 20, 30 steps, we're like, dude, I got to get these shitheads out of my fucking socks. Because you'd step and they stab into you. It was miserable.
It was so awful. And our noses were running and we could barely see.
I could not breathe through my nose. Yeah.
Both of our eyes were swelled up from, you could see the pollen in the air.
Yeah, it was literally so much. And there was like 2 sets of those we had to go through, and they were not short. They were like,
It was like
maybe
a quarter to a half mile of just like
just
every
that.
25 to 30 feet you'd have to stop and fix your fucking socks.
And in between those, there was shitheads still on the ground,
just like
crowding
placed. And
crowding
like
the
shitheads and dickheads just like sitting there.
And we were not happy campers.
We were literally, it was like we were cursing like a sailors.
Yeah, that was a miserable time. And there was one very defined point where we were almost losing it. I think I was literally on our, like, you had like a bottle and a half. I had a bottle. And we were on our, like,
No, we were on the 14th mile and we're like, wait a minute, a bottle for
how long?
4 miles?
Yeah, and we were gassed, like, 10 miles? Well, 5 miles up for the normal hike, and 5 miles down, which was easy. We were going up and down, winding in the blazing sun. It was
14 miles
heat.
later, out of water, basically. We had to conserve so. We'd open it and take a little sip and then close it up again.
It was horrible. And I remember there was one defining point where we weren't speaking to each other. Not because we were pissed at each other. We wanted to conserve so much energy, we just didn't talk.
We just didn't talk.
We just kept
didn't
walking.
listen to music. We just walked in silence for about a mile. We didn't say
Remember,
a word.
we went, like, there was a point where we were losing it because we were going down. You know how, like, we hit like a tall pollen shit. We went through that, and then the shitheads, and then another pollen shit, and we hit kind of a lower spot, and we're like, we feel like we're farther than we need to be. And then the path that we needed to go on was straight and an incline. Not crazy, but it was incline and in the sun. And we were like, dude, no fucking way. And it was literally maybe like 0.75 mile. A little less than a mile, but it was a lot. Uphill, no wind,
just
standing
straight
heat.
in the standing heat in the middle of summer.
And because like the sun was setting, dude. Not setting, but it was on the other side.
Yeah, the sun is past noon by a good amount.
Yeah.
We started at 8 in the morning.
Yeah.
It was past.
If the sun was on the other side, we would be in shade, blissfully. But no, the sun was hitting us against the wall that we were next to. Dude, it was awful. And we were walking, and we were just trying so hard to trug through it. And we knew we couldn't take a break because there's no shade. We would just be dehydrating
What would you do?
ourselves.
Yeah.
We'd just be dehydrating ourselves in the sun with making no progress. So we were just like, let's try to keep fucking going. And I want you to describe how a couple of the forks after that were very crucial in our survival, quite literally.
So many times where like the phone would only show one way to go, and we'd reach a fork, and I'd be like,
There'd be like 2 or 3 different
it
ways.
would just be the battle of deduction, and I somehow got it right 3 times. If I did not get it right one of those 3 times,
I don't know where we would have ended up.
we could very possibly be dead. Because if that water fountain that we came to on the final fork,
Dude.
where I was like, all right,
What,
here,
that was like mile 15 and a half?
yeah, 15 and a half. All right, let's
Hold
set
on,
the
let's
scene.
back up a bit.
Yeah, let's set the scene.
Because we ran out
mile
way before that.
15, mile 15, we ran out of water entirely. I take the last sip.
You ran out first. No, you ran out second. I ran out like a half mile
and then we
before you
split
did.
the last half of my Powerade, remember?
Yeah.
We split the last half of my
I
Powerade.
remember at like the second fork, I was like, fuck it. Because I in my mind, I'm praying to no God, it's not real, that the thing is almost over. So I was like,
We're at
just
mile
gonna
15. We think it's a 17-mile hike.
Yeah. And I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm just going to take my last little bit of, I think it was water or Powerade, chug it down, and hope that we're
We'll make
at
it.
the car somehow in like 10, 15 minutes.
No.
Anyway.
So after Ragnar does that about mile 14 and a half, he does it, you do it in the middle of our like hike up that thing. You're like, I can't do it, and you chug what's left.
Yeah.
And I take another couple small sip, and I conserve the last half of my Powerade.
We were thankful enough to be like, the last little windy bit before all the forks, there was some shade left.
Yeah, we
So
get
we
to
were
that
able
last
to,
shade.
yeah, we were able to do like little like 3-minute shade sit.
Do
like
a
we
little bit.
sat down.
Do the last little bit of the climb, hit that 15th mile, and then we decide to like through the 15th to 16th, we kind of are walking very slowly, splitting the Powerade. No, we run out. I think
We ran out before
the
we hit
straight
Fawcett.
hill. The straight hill was at mile 13 to 14, and yeah, that's why I'm confused. From mile 13 to 14, basically was like that straight hill up. And at the very end of 14,
Yeah.
you ran out of water.
Yeah.
And then we conserved mine through 14 to 15 where we
yeah.
wandered through. And then we hit a fork at 15. We're both out of water.
Yeah.
And I'm like, according to my thing, we need to go right here.
And I'm looking both ways. I'm like, please be right. Please, I'm putting all my faith in you.
But then I'm like, wait a minute. We should walk up a little bit because this looks like a wider path than normal.
Mm-hmm.
And we walked to the left about 200 feet.
Mm-hmm.
And we see a water faucet.
The thing was, that 200 feet was the longest of my life. This is going to be TMI, but when I ran out, I was literally pissing the darkest yellow of my life. We were both insanely dehydrated.
It was bad.
Like,
it was so unhealthy.
This was like, I don't like exaggerating, but quite literally health risking. Like,
no, we could not, like, if we had
hurt.
stayed like that for another hour, we would not, we would probably gone to the hospital.
It hurt to piss because it was dark yellow. I thought I was pissing blood for how, like, there was no hydration in my body whatsoever.
It was I don't remember why we went left. We saw a bench. Remember we saw a bench to our left? And we're like,
Maybe.
wait, if there's a bench. I actually remember this. We reached the last fork. To our right was the way we needed to go. I look to our left and I see a park bench. I'm like, Ragnar, that's a bench. There's civilization around here. We should go look over there and see what we find. And we go to it, and we see the first park bench, and we look to, like, it goes around the corner.
That's right.
And I see, as we round the corner, I see the water spigot.
He's going first because he has the map. I'm miserably following behind.
He's literally letting me get farther and farther because he doesn't want to go any more than he needs to.
And he goes, Ragnar! I'm like, what? He's like, a faucet. And I immediately was like, no, shut the fuck up. I almost ran.
we
didn't.
waddled.
Waddled my way over. I look, I see a faucet. I don't give a shit if there was metal in that water.
It could have been lead poisoned, and I
Dude,
would have drank that
I
shit.
drank 2 straight bottles immediately, and there was a porta potty, and like you said, that park bench. Took like 2 or 3 pisses of not dark yellow piss, slightly healthier piss, in that porta potty. We chilled for maybe like 20 to 30, and that was next. Ooh, no, it wasn't. There was it was pavement, right? It was pavement.
Yeah,
and
we
the
reached.
bridge.
No, so it was to our right was like if you went a little bit, it turned into pavement. Remember,
Yes.
and we were in like this campsite area thing. We don't know how we got there, but we
Yeah.
ended in some sort of like campsite type area.
Yeah,
Where we found the water faucet.
that faucet saved me so much.
And
Because if
honestly,
we didn't find that,
I do think that would mean I think we did make a wrong turn somewhere, but it kind of saved us because I'm pretty sure because we
Don't say that, man. That's
we
scary.
weren't supposed to walk that trail because it wasn't really on my map like that, and we ended up going 19 miles instead of 17.
oh, I always thought it was 17.
No, remember we went almost 18 and a half.
There we go. Okay, I get it.
Yeah, because it was supposed to be a 17-mile hike and we went 18 and a half. And I guess you could say that the rock climbing and the walk to the left could have made my watch off. There's no chance my watch was just off because of all the different
Extra
like,
stuff
stuff
we kind of did.
did.
Yeah.
But like it was definitely said we went longer.
Yeah. Wow, dude.
But we found the water spigot and it was all uphill from there, but we did not care because we had fresh water.
We filled
all of our waters.
Almost.
No, because we filled all of them, we drank 2 of them.
Yeah, that's right.
And we had 4 left.
I didn't want to have a lot because it was heavy.
Yeah.
Because water is heavy. And we were way more tired than the Albertsons trip. Like, we took so many breaks on our way up.
About every 100 to 200 feet, we would stop.
We literally
and just
sat
hang
down,
out.
drank water. We lay down, and it was good because the windy pavement had like
cold.
a
It had a
wall,
wall,
and
and it was
then
cold.
the shade, dude. Fucking blissful.
I
But
remember laying on the cold pavement, and it just brings a smile to my face.
it was such. I wanted to sleep. I wanted to fall asleep and like just like appear in my bed.
Yeah, man.
It was funny because we had this one guy who was like jogging
That guy.
with no water in
Who
his
was
hand.
He? He was such
don't
a
know.
crackhead. Literally had no shirt, tiny
Like-
Rogger shorts,
Yeah, he had
and he had
jogger
just
shorts.
run 2 miles without any water.
Yeah,
downhill, and he was like, "Oh, I'm gonna run back up now."
Yeah, he was coming up. Yeah, he was coming up, and he's like, "You guys good?" And we're like, "Yeah, we just found a water faucet, got our water. We're just really tired." And he's like, "All right, respect." And
Just
then
kept running.
He just kept running past us, and we're like,
And
I'm gonna
at
sit
first,
here
we
for a
didn't even
little longer.
acknowledge he didn't have water, and we looked.
"Yeah, we were looking
like,
at like, did he have a water?"
or anything? Like,
I don't think so.
Where the fuck did he, what
How
is
did
he
where did he
doing?
come from? I was like, how far did he go?
Why is he here?
Yeah, we were able to get up the pavement part, and after that is like not a resort, but more of like a
It was a nature reserve kind of thing.
yeah.
It was like,
Like
a children. It was a children's visit for like nature
Like Indian
history
kind of thing, 'cause there
about
was,
like
huts
Native
and stuff.
American.
Yeah.
About Native American stuff.
So yeah, we walked past that. We found a way to get back on our original trails, like from the very beginning. We kind
we
of had
saw the well from so far away. We could see the
and
well.
we were like, okay, this one looks like it's gonna take us there. You looked at your map, and that took us.
Remember, we had to walk across that field to get to the right trail. Cause
Yeah, we
I ran because the snakes.
Yeah,
I
he
was
doesn't like snakes.
terrified.
it was like the second or third trip. There was a snake in the middle, and you were just like, "Run, I'm gonna run it." And I was like, "Okay," and he just
I
sprints.
took off.
He didn't even look left or right. He just looked forward and sprinted.
Regdar was like, "There's a snake." I'm like, "Do we have to go this way?" He's like, "Yes." And I'm
Yes, this is
I
the
would
way
close my eyes and just ran.
back. That shit was great, but yeah, we were able to make it back, and we hung out a little more after, right? Because it was the end of the day.
Ordered sushi.
We did.
Ordered sushi from a delicious sushi place. We came back and we watched my favorite movie of all time. And let me tell you, it was spectacular.
That was the most rewarding, basically like
Food.
feast after.
We got like $80 worth of sushi, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
We both spent $40 on sushi.
Yeah.
And we delivered it to our house.
Yeah, we were like, we're not driving.
No.
We're not going. We deserve.
We both went home, took showers, and then we ordered sushi to mine and we watched Inception.
Yeah. And that was a fucking insane day. I drink a lot more water now than I did before that because of literally how that happened.
Yeah,
And
I feel like I have like a connection to water now of like
yeah.
I understand my dependency to it.
Yeah. It was like looking back, it is I wouldn't say a good experience, but
It was
an experience. Not
it
bad,
was-
but a experience.
I wouldn't call it good simply because of all the dangers and stuff we were in, but overall I don't regret the experience and it's something I'm thankful I did experience. Something I never want to go through again.
Yeah.
And I now am more prepared and aware in a way that I will never hopefully go through something like that again.
Because like we mentioned at the beginning, well, like 2.5 hours ago.
Yep, 2
Two-
hours and 31 minutes ago.
Nice, 2.5 hours ago. We mentioned that we broke through our ceiling over and over again. It was the Albertsons, and then our training, and then the first time we climbed the Bat Cave Trail up to the peak. We did that 2 more times, and then we broke through a ceiling that we thought
Wasn't possible.
shouldn't be breakable, but we did, and only because of that water faucet. That saved us. If we didn't run into that, like that guy who ran past us would have watched us die.
He would have probably had to call the
Yeah,
police.
he would've
He
had
would
to
have
call
called
the police.
911. He probably would have ended up being the person that saved our lives.
Yeah, like seriously, because that was miserable at the time. It was miserable, but the reward afterward and kind of the experience of being able to go through something like
Of
that.
surviving it.
Yeah, because that wasn't like some willy-nilly walk in the park. Like, if any of y'all want to come with us, we could show you where the fuck it is. We just won't go through that again.
No, we'll send you on your way.
Yeah, you can go ahead.
I will climb with you to the rock that you have to
Then
jump.
you have to jump over.
And then I will make you jump, and I'll say, I'll pick you up.
Yeah.
And you can do the final 12 miles by yourself.
And you got to figure out the forks yourself because that's what we had to do.
Yeah.
Him.
Don't get lost.
I would not
He
have
stared at
survived.
me,
I waited for him to make a decision. I did
That's
not.
facts,
I did
bro.
not make any
I
decisions.
hated that it was all on me because we fucked up. I killed us.
Yeah. Dude. Yeah.
And I think this takes us to kind of the point of telling this story.
Yeah.
Of we started with a joke, me being like, hey,
It literally was a
let's
fucking joke.
go to Albertsons.
Yep.
And it developed into an idea, into something really great, into something that we are really proud of, into a bunch of experiences.
That's right.
And from there, I think that gave us the confidence of we can come up with something and we can conquer it and we can master it.
Yeah.
And that's kind of where Allegedly Correct came from. And if it wasn't for the story, the 2.5 hour story that we just told you, this podcast would not exist.
Yeah, that was definitely a bonding moment because there was a lot of trust on the line, especially like rationing our waters at the last second. I really don't want people to be like, oh, these guys are over-exaggerating, because that was literally like
I know at the end of the day, like the fact that we gave each other water when it mattered most, like I know he's got me.
Yeah, for real. Like that was fucking
like it was
hard.
survival. We were both in survival mode and we still took care of each other, and that's when you know it's like yeah.
That was tough. And honestly, like that is not an experience you should chase, but it's an experience you should experience.
Like
because like
chase adventure, and it will probably at some point come to you.
That's right. And our first adventure, the Albertsons one, it was a little miserable compared to the last one, but we were able to get through it, and we're like, we can do more.
If without the Albertsons, we couldn't have done the last thing, and it took a process, it took a building, and that's kind of how we're handling our whole life.
Yeah.
We're building our process, as in. Yeah. I think you guys should understand that even though this is only the 3rd episode, it was a very long episode. If you did make it to this point, we're building something.
This is our longest single story, basically.
It was
because this was all what, in like a month and a half, 2 months.
This was a 2-month story we just basically told.
Yeah,
and hopefully you guys see that we have a lot of ideas and we have a lot of passion, we have a lot of care, and this is going to be built into something crazy. When we put our minds to something, we do it.
It's like something like another key thing to take away from this is one potential joke or idea can most definitely branch off to many different things. When we made it, when Bryce made a joke to go to Albertsons, not in 1,000 years
would we have
did we think we were going to take a basically 18, 19, 20-mile hike up a massive mountain around basically Pacific Trails. Wild stuff.
But we let it go, and we let life flow, and it kind of took us there.
Yeah.
And with that, are you ready to wrap it up?
Oh, it's definitely rappable.
Pound it. Baby. Yes, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for watching the longest episode to date.
Or listening. Because this is quite a long one.
Hopefully we can get this one up on Spotify.
That'd be nice.
I do need to figure out how to upload stuff to Spotify and SoundCloud, but hopefully if it's working, check the link in the description below. You can listen to these in the car, on the road. This was a lot less about the joking and a lot more about the storytelling.
You don't have to believe us. This is allegedly correct, too.
It is allegedly correct. This could have been total bullshit. We could have photoshopped all the pictures we did.
For all we know, the second episode was more accurate than this one.
You never know with us.
You never know with us.
Thank you all so much for watching. We hope you did enjoy. Have a wonderful day.
Laugh at our almost death.
Peace out.
Peace.